This page is the front cover of Dreamcast Magazine, Volume 4 from 1999, priced at 390 yen and dated February 5th. The cover promotes a special feature with a scoop on Shenmue, showcasing the latest screenshots from presentations held in 5 major cities across Japan. The article also announces Shenmue's release date as January 28th. Sega 2 is also highlighted. Other featured games include Senko no Ronde Turb, which is running a present campaign, Evolution, Eternal Dungeons, and Sonic Adventure. There is a 99 new spring special project focused on Barista Striker 2. For Sega Saturn, the magazine covers Kiss and the Dungeons & Dragons collection. Now, network features are discussed under the theme of telecommunications for the new year. The Dream Passport Handbook is also featured, along with new Dreamcast titles Redline Racer and Mahjong Taikai 2 Special. Finally, the cover mentions the first public information on Elemental Gimmick Gear, also known as Saishoku 10 Rainbow Angel. This page is an advert for the Dreamcast console, featuring the text, "It is in the shining snow," accompanied by a faint silhouette of a figure against a bright, snowy background. The next page showcases Kita-e, White Illumination. To the north, White Illumination, a travel communication game from Hudson, produced by Hiroi Oji. The game is set in Hokkaido and revolves around a 2-week summer trip, encounters with strong-willed girls from the north, and culminates in a winter reunion in Sapporo during the White Illumination season. It's described as a youthful love story set in real sightseeing locations, promising a fresh and exciting experience that turns faint feelings into passionate emotions. The game is slated for release in March and is priced at 5,800 yen, excluding tax. The page features illustrations of the game's characters and some smaller screenshots depicting scenes from the game, such as a girl in a field and a helicopter. This page is the contents page of the magazine. It outlines the sections included in this issue, starting with a feature on making the most of the Dreamcast network, which includes a Dream Passport handbook. There are parts covering Dream Passport usage, official Dreamcast homepage checks, expanding game possibilities with the Dreamcast network, and a collection of internet site URLs for game-related information. The Dreamcast feature highlights anticipated games such as Shenmue, Sega Rally 2, Redline Racer, Mahjong Conference 2 Special, Elemental Gimmick Gear, and Rainbow Angel. The Dreamcast Soft Complete Guide section features Sengoku Turb, Sonic Adventure, and Shinki Sekai Evolution. The page also includes a picture of Shenmue's Shenhua. This page showcases Dreamcast Hot information, highlighting upcoming games. It features Puyo Puyon, a new installment in the puzzle series, and an interview with a Sega Dreamcast executive discussing the 1999 Dreamcast strategy. There is also a Dreamcast Now article focused on series producers and directors, and an article about Virtua Striker 2, exploring its latest features and potential. The page also promotes weekly Sega Saturn magazine, suggesting it covers all things Sega Saturn. In the Coming Soon software section, Kiss and Dungeons & Dragons collection are mentioned as upcoming titles. The Game Index lists several games with page numbers, including Elemental Gimmick Gear, Shenmue, Evolution, The World of Sacred Device, Sega Rally 2, Sengoku Turb, Sonic Adventure, Rainbow Cotton, Puyo Puyon, Mahjong Taikai 2 Special, and Redline Racer for Dreamcast, and Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Limited Edition, Kiss, and Dungeons & Dragons collection for Sega Saturn. Finally, there's a smaller list of contents pointing to sections like Weekly News and Data Station, and an image related to the game Sengoku Turb. This page is all about the upcoming release of Sega Rally 2 on the Dreamcast, with the headline announcing its final release date for January 28th. The article explains that the game was initially planned to launch with the Dreamcast itself and was then expected on November 27th, but due to issues with the network battle mode, the release was pushed back. This delay was to ensure the online experience was polished, as it is one of the Dreamcast's first online multiplayer titles. They also mentioned the initial planned release was in 1998, now moved to 1999. There's a section highlighting that TV commercials for Sega Rally 2 are currently airing, describing them as conveying the excitement of the game. It mentions that a second commercial with a different angle is also planned to be broadcast soon. The page features screenshots from Sega Rally 2 showcasing in-game racing and menu options like 10-year championship, time attack, network play, car settings, and save and load game. The text next to the menu screenshot emphasizes that this is a perfect arcade port of Sega Rally 2, but with original elements specifically for the Dreamcast home console version, promising long-lasting gameplay. This page announces that Sega Rally 2 on Dreamcast was showcased at the Tokyo Auto Salon 99 in Chiba from January 8th to 10th. A game tournament was held at the event. There was also a Challenge the Sega Rally 2 in AMLUX Osaka event from January 14th to February 7th at Toyota Auto Salon AMLUX Osaka, where people could play Sega Rally 2 before its release. This event included a tournament and a talk show featuring a Sega Rally 2 developer and rally driver, Yoshiaki Fujimoto. Alongside the release of Sega Rally 2, a dedicated racing controller, named Racing Controller, was also launched on January 28th, priced at 5,800 yen. In other news, motion capture technology was used to record the movements of J-League Urawa Reds player Shinji Ono for a soccer game titled Saskatsuku, known internationally as J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru. Lastly, a goods announcement is made for a Sakura Wars Christmas live show poster. This poster features new artwork and is a limited edition item available for 2,000 yen at Taisho Romante. Naomi New Title Excitement Expo at the AOU 1999 Amusement Expo in Makuhari Messe will showcase new amusement machines from Sega, Capcom, Konami, and Namco, including potential NAOMI system titles like House of the Dead. Capcom is also holding a Power Stone Immediate Play campaign on January 24th at 9 stores across Japan, offering free play of the arcade game. In Tokyo, a Sega Sound Club Mix Volume 2 release commemoration live event will be held at Mission in Roppongi on January 30th, featuring DJ Hex Hector, celebrating the soundtrack album release on January 20th. Finally, the Shiga Prefectural Museum of Modern Art will host the Modern Fantasy Illustrator exhibition, focusing on youth and girl-themed art, and the participatory Drawing Pain Syndrome exhibition from February 27th to March 28th. This page highlights several news items and product releases, including the announcement of Mireille Tanaka as the new Genki Image Girl for game makers, with photo card giveaways. A CD single, We Are the Doraemons, by Ichiro Mizuki and Mitsuko Hori, celebrating their 30th anniversary, is out since February 27th. The Bantan Creators Festival 99 for game and CG creators will be held in Ibisu, Tokyo, including a student club event. A Sakura Wars 2 figure of Sakura Shinguji is announced at 7,800 yen. New music CDs are released by Yoko Takahashi, Friends, Yasunori Sato, Wayurai Mari, and George Yanagi, the latter celebrating his 30th anniversary. Lastly, the Sonic Adventure original album soundtrack for the Dreamcast game and the Mograppa arcade game soundtrack are now available. Sonic Adventure, a new action-adventure game from Sega, topped the Dreamcast software sales chart released December 23, 1998. Sega also secured second place with Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle, a fighting game. Third was Incoming, Human Final Battle, a shooting game from Imagineer. The top 8 also included 7th Cross Evolution, Simulation RPG, NEC Interchannel, Godzilla Generations, Action Sega, July, Adventure Forum, Pen Pen Tri-Isolon, Racing Action, General Entertainment, and Tetris 4D, Puzzle, Game Machine. Many titles were priced at 5,800 yen, with release dates clustered in late November and December 1998. The Dreamcast experienced strong year-end sales, reaching 320,000 units by January 10th, driven by successful software sales, particularly for titles like Sonic Adventure, marking a successful market launch. Weekly sales trends from late November 1998 to early January 1999 are also highlighted. This page is showcasing the Dreamcast Magazine's reader-voted ranking of the top 30 most anticipated upcoming games. Taking the top spot is Shenmue with 637 points, followed by Grandia 2 in second place with 624 points, and Sega Rally 2 in third with 588 points. The weekly pickup section highlights Cyber Troopers Virtual On Oratorio Tangram and Magical Sword X, ranking at 5th and 6th place respectively. Other notable games in the top 30 include Biohazard Code, Veronica at number 4, Blue Stinger at number 8, Psychic Force 2012 at number 9, and Elemental Gimmick Gear listed separately. This list gives a snapshot of what Dreamcast gamers were most excited about at the time. This page presents 2 game rankings and highlights. The Transplant Hope Top 20 Inches Reader Poll lists desired Dreamcast ports, topped by Rent-A-Hero, Sakura Wars, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, with other notable titles like Metal Gear Solid and Soul Calibur. The Video Game Income Ranking Top 15 Inches charts top-earning arcade games, led by Virtua Striker 2, version 99, Virtua Fighter 3TB, and Virtual On Oratorio Tangram, also including The House of the Dead 2 and Street Fighter 03. The page spotlights The House of the Dead 2 as weekly pickup, noting its NAOMI board and Dreamcast possibility. Things I'm interested in focuses on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a praised Capcom fighter faithfully adapting the manga. This document outlines the 1999 Dreamcast release schedule, detailing games and hardware. January 99 saw Sega Rally 2 and the racing controller released. February brought pop music and its controller. March was packed with titles like Mahjong Taikai 2, Aero Dancing, Puyo Puyon, Psychic Force 2012, Monaco Grand Prix, Real Sound Kaze No Regret, Digital Horse Racing Newspaper, My Trackman, and Chawomaru Golf, alongside the Game Dream Battle Camera Peripheral. April listed Buggy Heat and Elemental Gimmick Gear. June had Climax Landers. December was planned for Purple Dragon Flame 2 and Dynamite Robo 2000. This summer included racing, fighting, simulation, and adventure games like Redline Racer, The King of Fighters, Shenmue, and more, plus the fishing controller. This autumn featured titles like Flying Dragon's Fist-Style Biography and Entertainment Golf. End of 99 highlighted Geist Force, D2, and Berserk, alongside a rumble pack and microphone. Numerous unreleased games are listed across various genres, including RPGs, Devil Summoner, action, carrier, sports, J-League Soccer, and fighting games, Giant Graham, plus peripherals. This page showcases the Reader's Race section of Dreamcast Magazine, focusing on reader reviews for Sonic Adventure. It's positioned as Race 4. The main article features Sonic Adventure, labeled as First Place and New Software, highlighting its supersonic speed. The page shows a screenshot of Sonic and Tails in Emerald Coast. There are reader comments and scores provided. The overall reader score average is 9.6769 out of 10, while the magazine's editorial average is 9.33. Reader reviews praise the game's speed, graphics, sound, and satisfying action. Some reviewers mention concerns about camera angles and stage visibility. The reviews also highlight the game's replayability due to different playable characters and the enjoyable Chow Garden feature. One reviewer mentions playing over 183 hours, suggesting high engagement. Another reviewer appreciates the music and character themes. There's a mention of the game being considered a future standard and recommending it as a must-play for Dreamcast owners. This Odds Table Dreamcast review for January 22 ranks the top 8 Dreamcast games by reader vote. Sonic Adventure, Action, leads with 9.6769, followed by Virtua Fighter 3TB, Action, at 9.1421, and Pen Pen Tri-Isolon, Racing, at 8.3866. 7th Cross Evolution, SLG plus RPG, is a new entry in 4th place with 8.1666, praised for its unique evolution gameplay. Incoming, Kinkyu Hashin Save Our Earth, SHMUP, ranks 5th at 7.1666. Then Godzilla Generations, Action, at 7.2012, and July Adventure, at 6.8409. Tetris 4D, Puzzle, another new entry in 8th with 5.6363, is noted for its enjoyable multiplayer Tetris, but lacking content. Most games are priced around 5,800 yen, and developed by Sega or other Japanese companies, released in late November or December. Anticipated future entries include Sentu Turb, Action RPG, and Shinseki Evangelion, Evolution RPG. This page features a review section covering release software and hardware for the Dreamcast. Incoming, The Final Conflict, is ranked 5th. Praised for its simple controls but criticized for repetitive stages. Virtua Fighter 3TB is ranked 2nd and lauded as a perfect arcade port, highlighting the new dual mode not present in arcades. The visual memory unit is also reviewed, ranked 5th, with criticism aimed at its response time and battery life, suggesting improvements. The page also includes a Dreamcast peripheral ranking table, listing the arcade stick, Dreamcast keyboard, Dreamcast controller, visual memory, and Dream Passport, in order from 1st to 5th, along with their prices and release dates. In a section titled Dreamhorse Owner's Voice, user opinions are shared, including one person wanting more Dreamcast games, and another comparing the Dreamcast/Naomi board to AMNOI AM1. The page also details reader participation in prediction games, asking readers to predict the ranking of Kinky Sekai Evolution, likely a working title, no international release known, and the odd score for Sega Rally 2. The prizes are an arcade stick and visual memory set, along with a Sega Saturn or Dreamcast game of choice. This page is about the Sega Dreamcast racing controller that is finally being released on January 28th after being delayed due to Sega Rally 2 development. The page highlights the features of the controller, with a checkpoint section detailing that the L/R levers are analog for precise acceleration and braking, and it also has an expansion socket for VMUs. Another point mentions a mysterious expansion terminal on the back. The text describes the tension in the steering wheel, the button layout including plus, A, B, and start, and that the unit weighs 1.82 kilograms, heavier than the DC console itself, and the rubber base ensures stability. The page also compares the Dreamcast racing controller with the Sega Saturn version, noting that the DC version's L/R levers are analog, and the steering feel is heavier and more arcade-like. The DC controller has fewer buttons, 5, compared to the Saturn version, 7, but this isn't considered a practical issue for racing games. The Saturn version is heavier at 2.05 kilograms. The page mentions that while regular controllers can be used, this racing controller enhances the sense of realism and immersion when playing racing games, and recommends mastering techniques with it in games like Sega Rally 2. This page is an interview with Mr. Ueno from Sega Dreamcast Sales Department, discussing the Dreamcast sales performance at the end of 1999 and future prospects for the new year. The interview highlights the successful achievement of the 500,000 unit sales target for the year. Mr. Ueno mentions that hardware sales were strong, and network gaming is showing promising signs with over 110,000 users. The discussion touches upon upcoming game releases, including anticipated titles in the spring lineup. Games mentioned are Sega Rally 2, Sonic Adventure, Blue Stinger, and Climax Landers, likely referring to CLA Climax Landers. The page includes screenshots from Sega Rally 2, showcasing in-game racing action. The interview also touches upon user feedback and future marketing strategies. This page is about Dreamcast sales targets and a new customer loyalty program called Dream Point Bank. The target for the current fiscal year is 3 million units shipped. The interview section discusses the communication battle test that was done at the end of the year and safety confirmation. They are confident about meeting the sales target. The Dream Point Bank topic announces a new service where players earn points for purchasing software, and these points can be exchanged for original Dreamcast goods. To participate, players need to call a phone number and register. The page highlights various original goods available through the point system, showing images and point values. 900 points. Visual memory holder set, 2 units, described as convenient for carrying VM units on a belt, available in clear and clear orange. 2,000 points. Original visual memory, described as a rare item with camouflage and carbon print designs. 2,500 points. Original controller, also with original paint designs, intended to be paired with the original VM. 4,000 points. Compact lightweight telephone, described as a modular jack-switchable phone also usable for internet. 10,000 points. LCD portable television, a sporty 2.3-inch LCD TV that can be connected to the Dreamcast with a separate cable. The page emphasizes joining the Dream Point Bank to acquire these goods. This page is a promotional announcement for Yu Suzuki's latest Dreamcast game, Shenmue. It highlights a national 5 major cities presentation event for the game, indicating a large-scale promotion across Japan. The page features a prominent image of a key female character from Shenmue, alongside event photos showing banners and presentations related to the game in different locations, including Osaka and Nagoya. The text mentions the events were a great success and met with enthusiasm from a wide audience. It also notes the Shenmue calendar was still available for purchase at 2,500 yen and was popular with fans. This page details the start of the national tour presentation event for Shenmue, beginning in Osaka. The event was packed with enthusiastic fans, including women and families. The presentation included a film showing game footage and behind-the-scenes development details, and revealed character information, Attendees were captivated by the visuals shown. After the presentation, a lottery was held where 1 in 10 attendees won the chance to exchange name cards with Yu Suzuki himself, making it a memorable experience for lucky fans. The Osaka venue was filled to capacity, showcasing the high anticipation for Shenmue. This page is focused on the upcoming Dreamcast game Shenmue, subtitled Yokosuka's World Journey. The page emphasizes the game's concept of reality and experiencing a realistic world. It highlights key features such as magic weather, which brings dynamic weather conditions like rain and snow, and time control, where time progresses realistically from morning to night, and seasons change throughout the game, showcasing detailed and beautiful depictions of weather and time. The article discusses how Shenmue aims to provide an immersive and realistic experience, stating that the goal is to let players truly live in the game world as the protagonist Ryo Hazuki, experiencing life in detail, not just playing a game. It also mentions the concept of full reactive eyes entertainment, F-free, as the core of Shenmue's design philosophy, focusing on creating a world where players can feel a deep connection and experience a unique and unforgettable journey. The text expresses that players will deeply immerse themselves in the meticulously crafted world of Shenmue, encouraging them to savor the story and experience. This page describes the ultra-realistic feel of Shenmue's Kowloon, Hong Kong 1986 environment, emphasizing reality over mere realism to build drama. The game centers on the Kowloon walled city, a massive, complex structure in Hong Kong, depicted as it was in 1986 before the handover to China, a time when it was infamous for crime. Hong Kong, an international trading port with a history under British rule, is geographically described as a peninsula and islands in the South China Sea, divided into Hong Kong Island, Kowloon, and the New Territories. Shenmue's setting is in Wan Chai. The Kowloon walled city is portrayed as a dangerous, maze-like, lawless area inhabited by mafias. Hong Kong is depicted as a densely populated, diverse international city, attracting people from various backgrounds, reflected in the game's vibrant environment, where players can explore daily life and experience seasonal changes. The next page highlights the Quick Timer Event, or QTE system, in Shenmue. It emphasizes how these events are used in various situations within the game. Scene 1 details chasing Juan at the harbor, explaining how you must correctly input button commands during chase scenes to close the distance. Incorrect inputs will cause you to stumble and lose ground. Scene 2 shows a mini-event where Ryo is asked to fix a signboard. This demonstrates how QTEs can be integrated into everyday activities and interactions. Scene 3 features an action-oriented QTE, where Ryo catches falling leaves, emphasizing the focus on timing. The article highlights that QTEs are designed to be cinematic and action-packed, comparing them to scenes in action movies. It quotes Yu Suzuki, stating his intention was to create something that felt like the ultimate evolution of the Virtua Fighter series through Shenmue's QTE system. The article concludes that QTEs in Shenmue offer limitless possibilities and add dynamism to the gameplay and story. This page is a preview of Shenmue, highlighting the game's ambitious goal of featuring over 500 unique characters living their own lives within the game world, making it feel like a dramatic, interactive experience beyond player imagination. The text mentions that Shenmue is aiming to have over 500 characters by release, with 372 already created at the time of writing, according to Yu Suzuki's announcement at a Yokohama presentation. The game is described as an RPG with 500 characters, each with full voice acting and unique daily routines. The article emphasizes that this large number of characters will create diverse encounters and situations for the player, some potentially dangerous, where help might be needed. 2 characters are specifically introduced. 1. Described as a young man living in Hong Kong, leading a cheerful life. The illustration portrays him as a middle school-aged boy. He is seen as honest and a good kid. In the game, Juan possesses a special skill that can aid the player, Ryo. His kung fu attire suggests he might use martial arts. Master Chen, Shu Yuan Da, identified as the head of the Hong Kong Aberdeen Delivery Company, known as Gosei Company. He appears to be an ordinary old man, but was once a powerful figure in the Kowloon walled city underworld, and still has connections. He is described as righteous, noble, and respected, even by those in the underworld. Many still admire him. This page is focused on movement and viewpoint in the game Shenmue. It explains the controls for moving Ryo Hazuki around the 3D world. The page details how to walk using the directional pad, run by holding the R button, and change direction. It highlights the natural camera work and how the controls are designed to feel intuitive and realistic, allowing players to explore the vast game world seamlessly as if they are actually there. The game emphasizes simple controls, enabling complex actions for exploration and interaction within the realistic environment. It's all about making the player feel like they are genuinely exploring and living in the world of Shenmue. This page reveals the basic system of Shenmue, which was previously known as Project Berkeley. It highlights two core elements: view and conversation, emphasizing the game's reality. The view section is titled Perspective Change, Surveying the World with Eyes, and explains that the game aims for complete realism in perspective. Players can look in any direction, see under, see left, see right, and look up, just like in real life, allowing them to explore the detailed environments and notice things of interest, like signboards or dropped items. It mentions that there are two modes: play mode, as the standard gameplay screen, and view mode, which is like a movie scene. The game uses full reactive eyes entertainment, which is about the interactive nature of the game's visuals. The conversation section, titled Conversation Reality Born from Contact with People, focuses on interactions with the numerous characters inhabiting the game's world. It stresses the importance of conversations in advancing the story. Approaching someone and pressing the A button initiates a conversation designed to feel natural, like real-world interactions. The conversations are full voice and full reactive, and even feature subtitles for those who may have difficulty hearing the voices, emphasizing a realistic conversation style. It mentions yes, no choices might appear during dialogues. The page uses screenshots to illustrate these points, showcasing the game's graphics and character interactions. It mentions that over 500 models have been prepared for the characters in Shenmue, ensuring that no two characters are exactly alike. This Dreamcast feature highlights Shenmue's ambition to create a realistic and living CG world. It focuses on the concept of living feeling by incorporating time into the 3D environment, allowing for dynamic elements like day/night cycles and weather, moving beyond static CG pictures. The game's setting, Yokosuka 9 Dragon City, boasts over 1,200 meticulously detailed rooms, designed with interior coordination for added realism. Shenmue utilizes cutting-edge hand-motion CG technology, capturing nuanced finger movements to enable lifelike interactions. This allows players to perform actions like picking up objects, using a rotary phone, and handling cassette tapes in an immersive way. Screenshots showcase the game's detailed interiors and examples of this realistic hand-motion technology. This page is packed with exciting news about Shenmue. It emphasizes the incredible detail of the game, particularly the Kowloon walled city area, which boasts a massive 1,200 rooms. The game's realistic depiction of light, time, and weather to create a fantasy world is also highlighted. Next week's issue is promised to be even more explosive, with further Shenmue information. They are even planning a Q&A section with Yu Suzuki himself, inviting readers to send in their questions about the game. There's a section dedicated to a mysterious memo pad, part of their Mono series, questioning if it belongs to Ryo Hazuki and its significance in the game, hinting it might be an important item. They encourage players to check the actual game screen for more clues. The page also touches upon the advanced CG technology used in Shenmue, focusing on hand motion capture and how it contributes to the realistic visuals. Finally, it mentions the internet in Shenmue, pointing readers to Yu Suzuki's official website for the latest news. They are also running a questionnaire on the Shenmue BBS, asking if players would buy a video or CD of the production presentation, showing continued engagement with the fanbase. The next page is about the highly anticipated Sega Rally 2 for Dreamcast, announcing its release date as January 28th. This is framed as a special report addressing the game's release delay. The article dives into why was it delayed, explaining that the delay was simply due to development taking longer than expected, with the producer wanting to ensure the game was as polished as possible before release. Sega emphasizes their commitment to quality and the desire to deliver a truly satisfying experience. The "When will it be released?" section confirms the January 28th date. It mentions that news of the delay had already reached some users online, while Sega was informing retailers to communicate the updated release schedule to those who were unaware. Sega states that the delay was used to perfect the online multiplayer component of the game, aiming to create an unprecedented online racing experience for home consoles. They express confidence that they have achieved their goals and invite players to look forward to the game's release. The page also highlights key features of Sega Rally 2, such as versus play, online multiplayer, and compatibility with racing controllers, and notes the price as 5,800 yen. The screenshots showcase in-game action and the game's interface. Sega Rally 2 for Dreamcast introduces the Isle course, a new track inspired by Catalonia, Spain, and reminiscent of Riviera with its all-tarmac surfaces. This European-style course combines mainland and island sections connected by stone bridges, featuring stone-paved tunnels and streets. It comprises 3 stages. SS1, low difficulty 2.96 kilometers, is a beginner-friendly mainland track with straights and fast corners. SS2, medium difficulty 3.88 kilometers, starts like SS1, but loops around the island, becoming narrower with more corners. SS3, high difficulty 3.44 kilometers, diverges to the island after the bridge, offering a technical challenge with hairpin turns and S-curves. The Dreamcast version will boast 16 courses, including arcade favorites and original creations like Isle, enhanced by the 10-year championship mode, featuring dynamic weather for significantly expanded gameplay. The next page focuses on Sega Rally Championship 2, showcasing the 10-year championship mode for the Dreamcast version. This mode is described as a core element of the game, where players compete in 4 races annually over a decade, totaling 40 races. The article details the first 2 courses players will encounter. The first course, Muddy SS1, is set in a tropical rainforest and is considered the easiest SS1 stage. However, the muddy terrain is slippery and demands careful vehicle control. It is early morning, with thin fog, and the track surface is predominantly mud. The advice is to adjust driving styles between tarmac sections, focusing on grip, and mud areas, where drifting is essential, emphasizing drift control. The environment features rain, normal visibility, morning setting, and a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. The second course is Isle SS2, the second course of a 2-race set from the previous page's Isle SS. The weather is clear and set during the day, offering good visibility. The course is mainly tarmac, with gravel sections appearing in the latter half. It features complex corners that require precise steering and acceleration, making corner drifting a necessity, while excessive drifting is discouraged. The environment includes 10% rain, good visibility, daytime, and a temperature of 22 degrees Celsius. The page mentions that the cars are selected from the arcade version, and winning the championship will unlock the Impreza 555. This page is about Sega Rally 2 on Dreamcast, highlighting the ship mode, with courses revealed a year in advance. It introduces 2 courses, Snowis 3, a snowy Swedish-style course, emphasizing slippery conditions and the advantage of 4 WD cars, and Riviera, a Monaco-based course set in rainy conditions, stressing the importance of side brake usage and smooth hairpin turns. The page also details the enhanced replay mode in the Dreamcast version, offering multiple camera angles and the ability to adjust camera positions, along with the feature to save records and replay data on the visual memory, including network ranking passwords. Finally, it features rally champion Tommy Mäkinen, playing the Dreamcast version, praising the game and highlighting his experience with it. This page is a Dreamcast special report showcasing the upcoming game Redline Racer, a super high-speed superbike racing title set to be released in spring 1999. The game aims to capture the thrill of motorsports, focusing on speed exceeding 300 kilometers per hour and races across beautiful courses. Imagineer, the developer, has created a unique modeling tool to maximize the Dreamcast's graphic capabilities, striving for world-class visual quality. The page emphasizes the detailed rider design, showcasing the ability to distinguish between male and female riders with refined modeling. This page introduces Redline Racer for the Dreamcast. It's highlighted as a special report, showcasing Imagineer's new racing game. The tagline mentions, "The wind blows through the cast," hinting at speed and excitement. It is slated for release this spring at a price of 5,800 yen and is described as a racing game. The page focuses on the game's graphics, particularly the course design. It shows a wireframe model of a course and then a fully textured scene, explaining that by adding textures to the wireframe, a beautiful course is created. The text mentions that while these are development images, the Dreamcast version is expected to be even more beautiful. Race scenes are promised to be featured in the next issue. This page is a preview for the game Superbike Race Entry, showcasing it as a Superbike dead heat game exceeding 300 km per hour on the Dreamcast. The article introduces the game's background, mentioning the development of a new shock-absorbing material, Redline, by the British sportsmaker Xenos, which drastically improved racing suit safety and led to the development of high-speed superbikes. The page details 3 game modes: Tournament, 2P, versus Race, and Single Race. Tournament mode involves races on 15 courses with varying conditions, competing against rival riders over 3 laps to become champion. 2P versus Race is a 2-player mode for head-to-head competition against a friend or the computer. Single Race is a time attack mode where players aim to improve their lap times. The page also introduces 8 Superbike race entry teams that players can join. These teams are Team Diageo, Italy; Impala Racing, America; McQueen, England; Redline Racing, England; Jorgen, Germany; Latal Racing, France; Entech, America; and Tawayama Corp., Japan. Each team is described with a brief background, such as Team Diageo being a private team of world champion rider Roberto Diageo, and Tawayama Corp. being a Japanese team known for its technical prowess aiming for the title. The next page showcases 3 racing machines, described as having maximized potential and part of the Redline Racer series. Racing machine number 1 is named Avanti, which is described as a machine with total balance in mind, making it easy to handle with good acceleration, top speed, and turning performance. Racing machine number 2 is Firestar, known for its sharp handling. It's described as perfect for technical courses with tight corners. Racing machine number 3 is Tiger Shark, the fastest of the 3 machines. It's recommended for expert players. For each machine, there are side, rear, and front views, along with a design section showing a wireframe model. The page suggests that details about the racing scenes for these machines will be revealed in the next issue, encouraging readers to wait. This page is showcasing the Dreamcast version of Mahjong Taikai 2 Special. This is positioned as a serious 4-player Mahjong game and is the first Dreamcast title from Koei. The game boasts enhanced graphics with polygon characters and improved AI, making for challenging opponents. A key selling point is the ability to play against historical and fictional figures like Napoleon, Nostradamus, and Sherlock Holmes. You can even create your own character to play as, choosing from 8 male and 8 female faces and 3 voice types. The game is advertised as being released on March 4th for 6,800 yen. It's presented as a deep and engaging Mahjong experience, going beyond just casual play and focusing on serious strategy and technique. The text also mentions that the game records detailed player stats to help you improve your Mahjong skills. This page is a preview for the Sega Dreamcast game Mahjong Taikai 2. It highlights the game's focus on expressive and unique characters, with 23 characters appearing in total, including historical figures like Cleopatra and Sinbad. The game features 2 main modes: Mahjong mode, where players can enjoy local Mahjong rules and build up their wealth, and Tournament mode, which is a large-scale tournament with 24 participants, including the player's character. The preview showcases character portraits and screenshots of the gameplay interface. It mentions that each character has around 10 different expressions and unique dialogue. The bottom text teases more titles are coming next week from Koei for the Dreamcast. This page is a feature on the Dreamcast game Elemental Gimmick Gear, also known as EGG. The page showcases multiple screenshots from the game, including in-game environments, battles, and user interface elements. The screenshots depict a robot character navigating various terrains and engaging in combat. There are also character portraits shown. The interface panel highlights game stats such as energy points, attack, defense, mind levels, element max, access level, skill level, and items like Wire Arm and Super Grip. The game is developed by Hudson Soft and Birthday. This page showcases Elemental Gimmick Gear, an action RPG by Hudson. The preview announces that after being kept under wraps since initial reports in August, the game is finally gearing up for a full launch. The article promises to delve into the game's protagonist, EGG, and its world through staff interviews. The game is confirmed as an action RPG set for release in April, although the price is still to be decided. The page emphasizes the April release date. This page is about Elemental Gimmick Gear, also known as EGG, described as the main focus of the game. EGG is explained as a rideable walking machine and the core mechanic of the game. The page details how players control the EGG without needing to use tools, as it's all controlled by the rider's spirit. It's mentioned that EGGs are common in the game world and used for various purposes. The page highlights two main aspects of EGG gameplay: action gimmick and attack gimmick. Under action gimmick, it describes actions like pulling, pushing, and catching objects using a wire arm, which players will use to solve puzzles and navigate the game. The attack gimmick section focuses on combat, specifically the spin gimmick attack. This move involves retracting the arms and spinning at high speed to damage enemies, and can also be used for evasion. The screenshots showcase various gameplay scenarios, including puzzle solving with objects, combat situations, and different environments within the game, giving a visual representation of the EGG in action. This page is dedicated to Elemental Gimmick Gear, showcasing the game and its development history. The article is titled, EGG Development, A Long Road, detailing the game's fictional origins starting from 1353, where an unknown machine was discovered, later named EGG in 1360. In 1365, a prototype was completed, and by 1389, the replica Unit 1 was finished, showcasing the development and miniaturization of the EGG technology. Mass production began in 1406, marking the widespread use of EGG in various fields, including military exercises in 1415 and EGG fights in 1432. The Ultimate Technique 9X section highlights the protagonist's EGG, gaining various special moves as they battle enemies. 4 techniques are shown with screenshots: Plasma Field, Flame Spinner, Geoquake, and Freeze Laser, each with a cost of 165 200ths or 156 200ths, presumably energy or resource points, demonstrating powerful attacks to defeat enemies and navigate obstacles. This preview article for the Dreamcast game Elemental Gimmick Gear, EGG, highlights the game's impressive visual style, focusing on 3 major visual elements. The first is the full illustration map, emphasizing hand-drawn maps directly implemented to create a detailed worldview, contrasting with typical map designs for a unique designer expression. The second is action and 3D polygon battle, creating cinematic and engaging battles. Developers Hara and Ito in an interview discussed the game's visual quality. Hara highlights the central worldview and game balancing, while Ito emphasizes appealing visuals, particularly an oily or smoky, feel inspired by Smoky Memories. They aimed for natural and immersive field maps and rich visual representation, striving for an ideal visual style for EGG's world. This page showcases Elemental Gimmick Gear, a Dreamcast title focusing on its unique visual presentation. Section 2 highlights the game's use of 3D polygons, particularly during boss battles, which seamlessly transition to 3Ds while maintaining familiar controls. It emphasizes the impressive scale of bosses compared to the player character, EGG. Section 2I discusses the innovative blend of anime and CG within Elemental Gimmick Gear. The game distinguishes itself by going beyond standard high-end CG, merging digital animation with CG backgrounds. This combination aims to convey both human warmth and the metallic coldness of the EGG, creating a distinct atmosphere. High-quality CG movie scenes throughout the game are also praised for their cinematic feel. The opening sequence, depicting the origins of EGG at the Royal Institute of Technology, is animated in a way that makes character expressions easily understandable. The page also features an interview with the developers, discussing their design choices for EGG's world and characters, and the creation of full illustration scenario maps. They mention the challenges of incorporating action and world building into the game, and the importance of visual elements in conveying the game's atmosphere and character. They also mention the protagonist and heroine, and aiming for a unique world that is not purely realistic or comical, but something in between. This page is focused on the game Elemental Gimmick Gear. It details the game's background story, stating that scientists discovered ancient ruins containing EGG, which are relics from over 5,000 years ago. These ruins triggered strange events and creatures. The game follows Sleipnir, also called Leon, who awakens after a long sleep and has no memories, but is involved in a major incident. There is an interview section with the EGG development team. Kobayashi Takashi from Hudson, in charge of progress, and Kubo Yoshihiro, also from Hudson and in charge of map design, are interviewed. They discuss the process of creating the game's world and balancing gameplay elements, They mention the collaborative process between the team and the world-building process, focusing on balancing elements and ensuring the game is fun. Kubo describes the full illustration map, which blends cold steel with human warmth. Selin, a female scientist, is also mentioned, who gave Sleipnir the name Leon. She has been observing Leon for a long time and has developed feelings beyond just scientific interest. This page details the enemies in Elemental Gimmick Gear, EGG, unmanned units designed to impede player Leon's progress. Adapting combat style to each enemy type is crucial. Enemy examples include troops, mass-produced roadblocks, junkmen, a scrap-built unit with a wire attack, genocider, a water-mobile mortar-equipped enemy, and rankman, a water surveillance machine. Leon, the protagonist, is an amnesiac original EGG pilot seeking his memory. Developers, Hara, Ito, Kosaka, Kubo, discuss the challenging development, a deep backstory connected to Dreamcast Magazine serializations, and EGG as unique mobile suits. They aim for enjoyable gameplay, with spin-dash speed, puzzles, and hope players find it the best, adding pet raising and EGG trading beyond the main story to satisfy player expectations for a polished final product. This page is a preview for the upcoming game Nijiro Tenshi Rainbow Angel. It is described as a fantasy simulation game, where the player must train 7 pure maidens to defeat a witch threatening the world. The game is set to be released at the end of 1999 by Japan Corporation, with the price yet to be determined. It's mentioned to be a training simulation and compatible with the VM. The page highlights 3 of the 7 maidens. Firstly, Rei Rapartia, described as righteous, friendly, and straightforward, with excellent athletic ability and combat skills. Her hobbies include strolling and collecting perfume. Secondly, Camel Belkunia, the most intelligent of the 7 maidens. She is calm and analytical, but can be timid. Her hobbies include reading, astronomy, and swimming. Thirdly, Chris Deltina, who is always smiling and gentle. Astronomy. She is skilled in cooking, sewing, and laundry, and is described as very domestic. Her hobbies are cooking and quilting. The game's story is presented as a twist on typical fantasy tropes, where instead of powerful warriors or mages saving the world, it is up to these pure maidens, trained by the player, who takes on the role of a tutor. The goal of the game is to train these 7 maidens and increase their power to defeat the witch. The age range for these maidens is between 14 and 19 years old, selected from various countries. Their hidden potential will be unlocked through training, and they are gathered for a great purpose. Akai Tenshi, Scarlet Angel, is a nurturing simulation game centered on love and battles, where players guide female characters as an instructor. The game unfolds in a world of 2 continents and an island, once unified as 7 peaceful countries. A revived witch disrupts this peace and influences the Emperor of Phileas, prompting King Eric to seek 7 pure maidens to combat her. Gameplay emphasizes daily life, dating, and character interactions. 4 of the 7 selectable female characters are introduced. Pia Silis, a boyish and cheerful herb collector. Aurelie Elhart, a noble and leader-like wine enthusiast. Lucris Antinori, a quiet, serious rival. And Vinnie Elera, a talkative and mischievous girl. Screenshots and character portraits showcase the game's visual style. This page focuses on the Dreamcast game Puyo Puyon, showcasing it as a major release with the tagline, "Finally, Puyo friends are all gathered." The page features a large image of Suketo Dara, a Puyo Puyo character, describing him as a self-centered, halfish man who loves to dance and is obsessed with human girls. Below, there are character selection screens for 1P and 2P players, highlighting many characters from the Puyo Puyo series, including Alule, who is named explicitly. It mentions that all characters from the Puyo Puyon series are finally assembled in this game, with a total of 16 playable characters, and playfully questions if there are a lot of female characters. A screenshot of Puyo Puyon gameplay is also shown. On the right, there is a profile for the character Shagun Weigai, detailing him as a dark magic swordsman who uses ancient magic, aspires to be a great magician like Arle, and is considered strange by Alule. The page also indicates the game's completion rate is 100%, confirming a release date of March 4th with a price of 5,800 yen. It's categorized as a fighting action puzzle game supporting up to 4 players simultaneously and is VM compatible. A message from the manufacturer mentions the release date and diverse characters, asking readers about their favorite character. This page introduces the 16 playable characters in Puyo Puyon on Dreamcast, including familiar faces like Arle and Skedso, as well as new characters such as Chico and Archan, all boasting unique personalities. The page shows the character select screen and highlights Arle Naja and her special skill, Rui Panko. This ability prevents nuisance Puyos from falling for a limited time, a useful technique when being attacked. The page explains that using this skill during an opponent's attack can be a powerful weapon. It also introduces Dragon, a Western-style dragon described as cute and childlike, who appears in Puyo Puyon wearing a collar, with the page playfully questioning who put it on him. This page is dedicated to Puyo Puyo DA for Dreamcast, showcasing character details and gameplay mechanics. It highlights Arlen Witch, explaining their special moves like Fire, Diacute, and Julum for Arlen Millwave, and Shoot Star for Witch. The page also introduces Draco Centauros, emphasizing her powerful physical attacks and cute winking attack. The article details the chain reaction animations, explaining how chibi characters now attack during chains instead of simple cutins like in Puyo Puyo Sun. There's a section about the second AJAPA Cup Puyo Puyo tournament held on December 27, 1998 at Tokyo's Omori Bellport. The tournament used the Saturn version of Puyo Puyo 2 and drew a large crowd of around 1,000 people. The winner of the tournament was Atsushi Murata. Other notable participants listed are Tetsuhiro Kameyama, Tomu Hirai, and Satoshi Sanagawa. The event had Dreamcast consoles available to play the latest games and merchandise sales, creating a festival-like atmosphere, followed by a live stage performance by Tanaka Katsumi. This page highlights changes to the Tokoton mode in Puyo Puyo, detailing the Super Chibi Puyo Puyo mode, which is smaller than normal but larger than Chibi Puyo Puyo. It also introduces a new character called Ka-Kun, who appears in Tokoton Puyo Puyo. Ka-Kun is described as Puyo Puyo's mascot character, Carbuncle, appearing in Tokoton Puyo Puyo mode and eating Puyo. There is an interview with Masamitsu Nitani, the president of Compile, discussing the Dreamcast development. He mentions that development is progressing smoothly, and they are considering user feedback from HP and Mail. He states that they aim to incorporate Puyo Puyo-like and characteristic effects, and utilize Dreamcast features to create a complete and enjoyable game, emphasizing the unique visuals and sounds of the DC. He also mentions plans for 23 titles for Dreamcast in the future, and emphasizes connecting with users online and engaging in internet-based communication. Finally, there's a section about a project called Girl RJ, which is based on a web novel and is being developed into a Dreamcast title. The character designs for Girl RJ are partly based on submissions from users. The article mentions that the title Girl RJ may change when it becomes a Dreamcast title. This page is a special 99 New Year feature focusing on Virtua Striker 2 and its newest iteration and potential. It is described as the ultimate soccer game, using cutting-edge technology for realistic movement and depictions. The history of the Virtua Striker series from 1995 to 1999 is highlighted. The page details the evolution of the game. Virtua Striker, May 1995. Utilizing the Model 2 board, it was the world's first 3D CG soccer action game, achieving realistic visuals and gameplay, with high strategic freedom for players. A screenshot shows gameplay on the Model 2 arcade board. Virtua Striker 2, 1997. This version uses the Model 3 board, surpassing the previous version in imagery and realism. It introduced tactical elements, like direct play and new systems. The number of participating countries increased from 18 to 24. A screenshot showcases gameplay footage. There is a tournament roster listing countries including Austria, Belgium, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Japan, Brazil, Paraguay, Bulgaria, Spain, Denmark, Jamaica, and Colombia. The text, "Challenger Comes," is also featured. The page mentions an interview section titled, Binchan ni Chokugeki, which translates to, Direct Attack on Binchan, suggesting an interview with someone nicknamed Binchan about the game. Overall, the page is a promotional feature for Virtua Striker 2, highlighting its advancements and history within the context of the Dreamcast era and its arcade origins. This page is about Virtua Striker 2, version 99 and its possibilities, featuring an interview with Bin Mifune, the producer of the Virtua Striker series and AM11 Research Department Deputy Manager. The interview discusses the development of version 99 and the concept behind it, highlighting that it was initially not planned as a new version, but evolved from software maintenance of Virtua Striker 2. The development team aimed to make significant changes from version 98, focusing on making the game more interesting. The page also mentions the game's hardware, MODEL3 Step 1.5, and shows gameplay screenshots. Version 99 is described as incorporating the latest player data and formations based on international tournaments from 98, and emphasizes deeper strategic elements, allowing players to change formations based on their opponents. The improvements in version 99 are said to be noticeable when playing. This page is centered around Virtua Striker 2 version 99, exploring the possibility of a Dreamcast port and whether it will be successful. An interview section titled Possibility to Naomi I discusses the challenges of bringing the arcade game to Dreamcast, focusing on graphical quality and exceeding the standards of version 99. The interviewee mentions issues with graphics and the need to surpass the arcade version on Dreamcast, also highlighting the potential of Naomi I and VM, visual memory. The page also previews new features of Virtua Striker 2, version 99. One section focuses on 3 new teams, Chile, Austria, and Jamaica, detailing their strengths. Chile is described as having strong forwards and high offensive power, Austria as an all-around balanced team with strong running ability, and Jamaica, a World Cup debutante, noted for exceptional physical ability and focusing on long passes. Another section discusses the Battle Change by Formation feature, highlighting the strategic depth added to the game. It emphasizes the importance of formation changes and tactical play, explaining how offensive and defensive formations impact gameplay. The article mentions that switching formations during breaks in play, like free kicks, can be effective. Gameplay screenshots showcase the in-game action of Virtua Striker 2, version 99. This page delves into the potential for a new Virtua Striker game, specifically Virtua Striker 2, and its possible arrival on home consoles. The article reflects on the series' arcade roots and how it could translate to the Dreamcast. It mentions that previous attempts to bring Virtua Striker home were hampered by hardware limitations, but with the Dreamcast and Naomi arcade hardware being closely related, this might finally be achievable. The developers emphasize that Virtua Striker's core appeal is its focus on player control and simple, engaging gameplay, distinguishing it from other soccer games that are more ball-centric. The article explores the idea of online play, acknowledging the challenges of lag, but expressing a strong interest in enabling global online matches. There's also discussion about potential improvements for a new version, dubbed Version 99, focusing on core gameplay refinements rather than just visual upgrades. The text hints at the possibility of a Dreamcast release by the end of 1999, even suggesting the title Virtua Striker 2000, and anticipates the realization of this long-awaited home console version. The page features screenshots of Virtua Striker 2 arcade gameplay and the Naomi arcade system board, which shares architecture with the Dreamcast console. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Tanukichi. The advert features 2 prominent 3D characters, a nurse with green hair and a yellow outfit, and a Tanuki character wearing a crown and colorful clothes. Surrounding them are multiple screenshots from the game. The advert highlights the suggested retail price of 5,800 yen, excluding tax, and states that the game is currently on sale. The text in pink exclaims, "After all, TV is the best!" And another text says, "Places without color." The advert also includes the website address, http://www.nihit.gr.jp/. This page is the Reader Corner, Guru Powers. It's a section where readers share their stories and opinions. The page includes reader submissions about daily life, funny anecdotes, and experiences relating to games, particularly the Dreamcast. One reader talks about their dream place, where everyone can meet and chat. There's a story about searching for Dreamcast consoles, even in rural areas, and finally finding one in a hidden supermarket. Someone mentions staying up all night playing games and the excitement around the Dreamcast. Another reader talks about their love for Star Wars and Jackie Chan, mentioning they are looking forward to the Dreamcast release in July. There are sections with illustrations featuring characters called Uzuma Sister and Brother and Cat. There's also a section called Dreamcast Child. The page also features reader questions and advice requests, including a funny situation about a boy confessing his love to a girl. Overall, it's a fun and engaging page filled with reader interaction and lighthearted content centered around the excitement of the Dreamcast era. This page features a Girls Talk corner, where readers have submitted questions. One question asks about why cosmetics are so expensive, and what the difference is between cheap and expensive ones. Another question is about the TM mark on the Dreamcast logo and what it means. The answer being it stands for Time Machine, and mentions other options like Turtle, Miracle, and Tiger. There's a question about speech patterns ending in neko and nya, suggesting using cure instead. Finally, a reader asks for advice on how to handle a boyfriend who seems obsessed with guru power. The advice is to accept it as a healthy hobby. The page also includes an illustration garden section, with a current theme calling for Shenmue submissions. Featured is artwork for Power Stone, highlighting the characters Fokker, Ayame, Wong Tang, Zanzog, Jack, Rouge, Ryoma, and Golda, with illustrations attributed to artists from Fukuoka and Kanagawa prefectures. It is described as a supernatural color 3D action-adventure. The page also mentions that the artwork is original, and that Ayame is cute. Finally, there is a note from Ranmaru from Tokyo, discussing Shenmue, and how their submitted illustration was featured in Dragon Magazine, mentioning the artist Tamaru Ranka Sensei, and expressing joy at being part of the corner, encouraging more submissions. This page showcases reader-submitted comic strips for Dreamcast Magazine, highlighting various takes on Dreamcast and Sega-related themes. One comic strip, titled Private Sonic Academy, humorously depicts scenes related to Sonic Adventure. Another comic from Aomori Prefecture uses Puyo Puyo and Sonic in its story. The Dream Came True section discusses reader submissions and mentions that while Namco is releasing collections like Ridge Racer Collection and Tekken Collection, there are not as many Dreamcast titles announced yet. Let's Go with Pro Wrestling is a comic focused on wrestling moves, using Sonic Adventure characters and moves like Headlock. Another strip, Yogurt Came Out the Day, from Aomori Prefecture, involves Yogurt and Sonic characters in a comical scenario. The Mark Bolan and Trek sections appear to be music-themed comic strips, perhaps referencing music within games. Naturally Dyed Colored Paper features a character named Dreamcast Ayame, and seems to be a design or character concept. The Standing Figure Extermination Living Power Stone and Gulgulcho comics are based on the game Power Stone, depicting characters and gameplay elements. The Event Triathlon comic strip and Why Is It comics seem to be humorous takes on game events and reactions, with Why Is It possibly referencing the Gulguru Powers series. Finally, Harlem Triathlon also seems related to Power Stone, featuring the game's logo and Dreamcast branding in its artwork. This page is showcasing reader submissions for various magazine sections. The Love Cafe section includes lighthearted messages and jokes from readers, with mentions of Tobacco Man. Saturn Man's Forest is a section where readers share their thoughts and experiences related to the Sega Saturn console, discussing topics like being a Saturn fan and memories of the console. The Unlimited Manga Reopening section is dedicated to reader-submitted manga. Love V Cafe also features reader contributions, with some mentioning DC Mania or Dreamcast Mania, showing enthusiasm for the Dreamcast. This week's exposure displays reader-submitted caricatures. The page also includes submission guidelines for readers wanting to contribute to the magazine, and a cartoon panel discussing submission details and prizes, mentioning a horror manga contest, and a 500 yen gift certificate prize. Overall, this page emphasizes community engagement through reader submissions rather than focusing on game reviews or previews. B1 Mail Order Games Store advertises that they are open year-round and announces new and upcoming games for various consoles. The advertisement spotlights Dreamcast, featuring attention-grabbing titles Kita E, White Illumination and Climax Landers for February release, and a Dreamcast bundle for 29,800 yen. Schedules detail new game releases for PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, Game Boy, and Sega Saturn, listing titles like Ridge Racer Type 4, Banjo-Kazooie, Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Dragon Quest Monsters, and Super Pachinko Tyson. Release date schedules highlight February PlayStation releases including Armored Core, Master of Arena, and March titles like Tomb Raider 2i. Dreamcast upcoming games feature Pocket Moo and Saga Frontier 2. The page also provides console hardware prices for systems like Game Boy Color and Sega Saturn, alongside mail order and delivery information. The next page is titled Weekly Reading Material Selection Corner, and Bad Smile, discussing the theme of habit. The article humorously explores the use of laugh or as a substitute for actual laughter in online communication, like in forums and emails. It examines the effectiveness and appropriate use of this expression, noting it can be a useful tool to convey humor and soften text-based interactions. However, it also cautions against overusing laugh, suggesting that those who rely on it too heavily might lack genuine comedic timing or sensitivity in their communication. A side panel also briefly touches upon the relationship between illustrations and text in manga and the role of laughter within that medium. While the page features an illustration of someone engrossed in a video game being humorously attacked by a monster from the screen, the content is generally focused on online communication and humor rather than specific Dreamcast game reviews or previews. This text covers diverse topics in Japanese pop culture and game retail circa 1999. It anticipates a summer ink boom focused on tattoos, reflected in discussions about game character design, real-world tattoo popularity among store clerks and manga fans, citing examples like Fishing Idiot Sanpei and Eva tattoos as personal style. Game shops cater to a wide customer range, from children to adults seeking classic titles. Effective game packaging and marketing are emphasized, highlighting visual appeal, CD-ROM standard, and diverse styles, while customer feedback is vital, particularly on in-game message readability, considering hiragana preference for younger and kanji for older audiences. The next issue will feature an interview with animator Mori Kenji. The author is Kuwakawa Noriyuki, a writer and editor with a forthcoming book. This page is a comic strip titled Summing Yoshimatsu Theater Episode 10. It's a humorous piece that seems to be commenting on the gaming industry, particularly the emphasis on polygon graphics, likely in the context of the Dreamcast era. The strip features characters with TV screens for heads and introduces a character called Rolfia-chan. The dialogue mentions anticipation for Shenmue and uses phrases like polygon, 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 and next generation machine, satirizing the hype and expectations around polygon graphics at the time. The humor centers around the idea of polygons and CG graphics being painful or overemphasized in gaming. It's a satirical take on the tech and trends within the gaming world of the late 90s. This page is focused on the Dream Passport software for the Dreamcast, which is being presented as the key to accessing network features. It highlights that 1999 is considered the network year one and emphasizes mastering the network to get ahead. The page outlines 4 main topics covered: effectively using Dream Passport, essential internet etiquette, checking the Dreamcast official homepage Dreamcast, and exploring the network possibilities for Dreamcast games. The text explains that Dream Passport simplifies network access for Dreamcast owners, making it more user-friendly and accessible, and anticipates how software creators will leverage these network capabilities. The magazine issue is specifically focused on providing practical knowledge and manners for using Dream Passport. Images include a Dreamcast controller with the VMU showing Dream Passport menu options and the Dream Passport GDROM disc. Dream Passport 1.01, Dreamcast's initial communication software, is explained in a Q&A format. Navigation shortcuts include direction pad and X for /forward, and the middle button for website history jump. While copy and paste is absent, F keys serve as shortcuts for frequent words like web addresses, e.g., F1 for http:// F8 for .com. For dial-up redial issues, waiting after 3 attempts or modem reset is suggested due to potential modem specifications. Full-screen display is achievable via VGA-compatible mode. The Y button activates a zoom function for TV displays, recommended for images and websites even in VGA, though text readability in zoom might be challenging, as Dream Passport is primarily designed for TV display at roughly half PC screen size. This page is a tips section offering advice on common Dreamcast user issues. It addresses 4 problems in a Q&A format. Firstly, it explains how to save sent emails by sending a copy to yourself, as sent emails are not saved by default. Secondly, it advises users concerned about phone charges when writing long emails to compose messages offline before connecting to send. Thirdly, it recommends using an S-video cable instead of a standard AV cable to resolve screen fuzziness on TVs. Finally, for users who find taking notes tedious, the suggestion is to simply take a photo of the screen as a quick memo. This Dreamcast keyboard manual explains text input, emphasizing its ease compared to controller input. It details switching between full-width and half-width characters, using the key Key 1. Essential for Japanese text. The manual covers kana and romaji input methods, recommending romaji for alphabet users. It explains inputting characters like hi and hi using the shift key in full-width kana mode. Notably, direct input of full-width alphanumeric characters is not possible, requiring the software keyboard. A numbered diagram highlights key functions 1 to 16, including mode switching, shift, and arrow keys. This manual addresses the lack of keyboard input information in Dream Passport manuals. The Dreamcast keyboard retailed for 4,500 yen. This page details keyboard shortcuts for the Dream Passport software on Dreamcast. It explains useful tips for using a keyboard efficiently with the Dreamcast. The page covers various keyboard functions within Dream Passport, such as using the pause key to hide or display the software keyboard on screen, backspace and delete key functions for deleting characters to the left and right of the cursor respectively, and page up/down keys for scrolling web pages in the browser. It highlights that arrow keys are used for cursor movement, enter key for selection, and ESC key for cancel, mirroring controller button functions. The guide explains efficient text input methods, particularly for Japanese conversion, using the space key to cycle through text conversion options and the enter key to confirm the selection. It also mentions using the backspace key during text conversion to return to previous candidate options, and how to input special symbols by typing kigu, and also how to input small hiragana characters using specific romaji inputs like LA or XA for. The page uses screenshots from the Dream Passport browser showing the Yahoo Japan website as an example. This page is an instructional guide on how to use internet search engines to find information, specifically focusing on directory type and robot type search engines, using Yahoo, Japan, and InfoSeek as examples. It explains that directory type engines are organized hierarchically, allowing users to browse through categories to find desired information, while robot-type engines use keywords to search across the web and list pages containing those keywords. The guide demonstrates how to search for Sega-related information on both types of engines. For Yahoo, Japan, directory type, it shows browsing through categories like business and economy, then corporate, and finally game/TV game to locate Sega's homepage. For InfoSeek, robot type, it demonstrates using the keyword Sega to directly search and get a list of pages containing Sega Entertainment Universe and other related links. The page also includes tips for refining searches, suggesting to change keywords, use synonyms, and consider both full-width and half-width characters in Japanese text, as well as techniques like using and or operators for more precise results. This page is introducing recommended search engines for Dream Passport users to effectively utilize the internet. It highlights several search engines such as Yahoo, Japan, and Goo as robot-type search engines capable of searching a vast amount of information. InfoSeek and FreshEye are also mentioned as robot-type engines known for their detailed databases and up-to-date information respectively. Additionally, it presents specialized search engines like TINAMI, focused on anime and manga, and Kinokuniya Bookweb, an internet bookstore, suggesting these niche search engines can offer more tailored results for specific interests compared to general search engines. This page recommends personal websites of game creators as an alternative to official manufacturer websites, suggesting they offer more interesting and in-depth information. The first website highlighted is Nucleus's homepage, created by Kato Atsuya, a programmer who worked on Virtua Fighter 3 and Spike Out. This site features frequently updated diaries that give insight into a game creator's daily life, links to other creators, and deeper information. The second recommended website is Children's Spiel, related to the game developer Sting, known for Baroque. This website contains numerous movie reviews, a unique atmosphere, interviews with creators, and unique content like Legend, Positive Poem, and Kashira 1217. The page creator's message mentions that updates beyond diary entries are infrequent, but there is still backside news available. It encourages those interested in game development to visit and even participate in the Dreamcast bulletin board. Both websites aim to provide a personal perspective from game creators and unique content not found on official sites. This Dream Passport feature highlights Dreamcast online content, showcasing creator-based homepages. Owner's homepage, linked to the Detective Jinguji Saburo series, features animations by the creator, particularly emphasizing the Sana-chan character. Star, Baku Baku, programmer, focuses on mahjong adventure games like Umihi Summer Waltz, catering to fans of beautiful girl games and encouraging user feedback via contact. GameWorkers Link acts as a bookmark directory, linking to 114 game creator sites to promote community and information sharing among developers. A column advises users to explore these homepages to understand creators' personal interests and game origins, suggesting interaction through bulletin boards and email, while emphasizing polite communication. This page introduces news-type information websites available on the Internet. It highlights 4 specific websites categorized under news-type information sites. First is GameSpot, emphasized for its speed in publishing news and the quality of its content due to dedicated editors. It supports Dreamcast Magazine and the PlayStation Magazine, and is accessible at http://www.zdnet.co.jp/gamespot/. Next is Anime FAN, dedicated to anime information. It boasts detailed coverage and information density, email news distribution, and further content for homepage subscribers. Operated by NiftyServe Anime Forum, it offers the latest anime news, event information, voice actor interviews, columns, and fan club details. A paid membership provides more in-depth information, but a free trial period is available through NiftyServe. The website is http://www.nifty.na.jp/animefan/. Then there is Nikkei.net, recommended for keeping up with social trends and economic information. Operated by Nikkei newspaper, it focuses on daily economic and stock market updates and covers electronic commerce topics. The website is http://satellite.nikkei.co.jp/. Finally, Asahi.com, from Asahi Shimbun newspaper, is presented as a convenient site for accessing the latest news across various genres. It uses arrow icons for navigation and can be found at http://www.asahi.com/. This guide, Part 1 for easier Dream Passport usage, showcases useful websites on Dreamcast. It starts with Daily Life Information, featuring Joruden.co.jp for route and fare finding. Next, Disaster/weather information highlights Tenki.or.jp for weather updates from the Meteorological Agency, including email forecasts. MapFan Web, mapfan.com, offers maps searchable by various criteria with zoom functionality, similar to the Saturn game Great Sports Day. The bargain and shopping site section presents Kuroneko Yamato's Tenkan.kuronekoyamato.co.jp online shop directory with over 1,000 stores and delivery options. Tell and Tell page, Tokutoku.com, provides bargain information and news categorized by genre. Finally, it emphasizes Internet security, explaining VeriSign certification as proof of secure websites for safe online transactions and data protection via digital IDs and SSL. This page explores the possibility of creating homepages using the Dreamcast. It explains that while you can't directly create a homepage solely on the Dreamcast, it is possible to do so by using online editing tools offered by services like GeoCities. GeoCities is presented as an easy-to-use option for Dreamcast owners to build their own free websites. The page highlights the rising popularity of this method amongst Dreamcast users after a recent article in the magazine. A table showcases examples of Dreamcast user homepages hosted on GeoCities, listing various usernames, page titles such as DC Empire, Dream User, Happiness Travel Diary, and corresponding GeoCities addresses, demonstrating the diverse content being created by Dreamcast users. This guide explains how to add a guestbook and counter to a Dreamcast homepage. For the guestbook, users first access the rule page via the Information Center and Tool page. After understanding the guestbook settings and noting provided tags, they configure it using an input form, setting colors, titles, and separators. Then, using the file manager, they insert HTML tags for guestbook entry and viewing into their website files using a text editor, saving and testing afterwards. Setting up a counter follows similar steps. Users return to the rule page, select counter, read instructions, and access the file manager. They then edit the backquote index HTML backquote file, inserting the provided counter HTML code backquote less than imgsrc equals /kingabin /counter ID, greater than backquote, replacing ID, using a text editor. Finally, they save and preview the page to confirm the counter display, and can add surrounding text for better presentation. These steps simplify adding a guestbook and counter to a Dreamcast homepage. This page is about internet etiquette for beginners, covering both email and chat. It emphasizes that the internet is not a lawless zone and offers guidelines on how to behave online. For email, key points are to keep messages concise, write lines with 3,035 characters, reply promptly, reread messages before sending to avoid misunderstandings, and never forward chainmail as it burdens the network. For chat, the advice includes greeting others upon entering a chat room. It is acceptable to just read ROM, but respond if directly addressed, avoid slandering others, and emphasizes that nanpa, hitting on people, is taboo, especially in rooms not intended for dating. The page uses generic screenshots of email and chat interfaces to illustrate these points, and doesn't reference any specific Dreamcast games. This page discusses internet etiquette, suggesting tips for online communication. It recommends introducing yourself simply when first meeting online, refraining from forceful statements, and using emoticons appropriately. It also highlights the importance of being mindful of your online presence and avoiding misunderstandings. This page is about the Dreamcast official homepage, Dreamcast, and what it offers to users. It's described as a treasure trove of helpful information. The website provides 16 content sections, including game information and goods pages. The game information catch section highlights several features: daily DC news, which emails daily game news, game burn, showcasing release schedules and game screenshots, and special features with event reports, including the Shenmue production announcement. Goods You Want Found section promotes GarageBank for GarageKit information, and Dora Pre 64 and Dora Pre Boy as prizes users can win by using Dreamcast. Trouble Time Dreamcast Help features Beginner Dojo for Internet novices and Service Counter for DC-related campaign information. Lastly, Other Information 2 features Wearing Mellow BOX for ringtones, Song, and Akara Core related to anime song karaoke, and Count Soul, a feature to count anything. This page details how to access online content for the Dreamcast using a Visual Memory Unit (VMU) with a focus on a Gather Godzilla download. It describes the process of setting up the VMU, downloading the content from the GameBurn website, selecting the VMU as the destination, and finishing the download process. The page also promotes various online Dreamcast services and content under the banner "Participate in Dreamcast and let's liven up the content together." These include Daily Dreamcast Bento, a daily manga series featuring works by various artists and user submissions. Monkey Bald Heaven, a comedy page produced by Shiragari Kotobuki, featuring user-submitted jokes and gags. Dreamcast Fool/Idiot, a section with 4 comedy segments where users can contribute comments, featuring popular content like Yume Video. Dream Mutsupi, a service that displays Dreamcast friends and partner shops on a map, allowing users to register their locations. Dreamcast Guest, an interview series page featuring monthly guest interviews with industry figures and users, with the current guest being Ryo Suzuki. MailChum, a service where users can interact and chat with cute characters via email, appealing to a wide range of users from schoolgirls to military enthusiasts. Finally, it advertises a Gather Letters Strange Sentence Grand Prize campaign, where readers can collect letters scattered throughout the Dreamcast pages to form sentences and win prizes. The deadline for submissions is January 31st. This page introduces the MailChum member Big Gathering, focusing on interactive characters for email communication. It features 5 distinct MailChum personalities: Black, the leader type who dislikes mischievous emails; Red, interested in shopping and unique men; a beginner with games and email; Blue, who makes email a daily routine and enjoys music-related topics; Purple, scouted from a club, excels at dancing and sports; and Pink, the youngest, who is new to the internet and enjoys being spoiled. Additionally, the page introduces 17 centimeters General Soldier Meeting, featuring a character with a historical theme, and Raspberry 4, a group of 3 high school girls with typical girly interests. Finally, MailChum Police section details rules for email interaction, such as character limits for messages. The page title, Jet Girls, is also displayed prominently at the top, possibly indicating a connection to these male chum characters. This page introduces 3 new members to the DC official homepage section, promising to boost the fun. They are seeking group names and nicknames from readers for these new additions. An interview is featured with these 3 new characters to get to know them better, discussing topics like leader roles and nicknames. Readers are invited to submit their group name and nickname ideas for a chance to be adopted and receive a reward, sending their suggestions via postcard to the Dreamcast Magazine editorial department in Tokyo. This page focuses on the Dreamcast's online capabilities, highlighting the game Sonic Adventure as a prime example of network features. It mentions that the Dreamcast is equipped with standard communication functions, aiming to appeal even to those who are only interested in playing games offline. The page details the dedicated website for Sonic Adventure, emphasizing that players can access it even without owning the game software. It highlights features like strategy hints, enjoyable chats, and everything achievable through this online homepage. Sections include Sonic Adventure homepage, describing how to access the online content and what's available. Ranking, explaining the time attack ranking system where players compete for the best times, emphasizing national level competition. Strategy hints, highlighting that hints are available to help players through the game, even up to the ending. Events, mentioning time-limited downloadable content events, such as Christmas and New Year events, that add new elements to the game. BBS, discussing the bulletin board system for Sonic Adventure, allowing players to chat, discuss game strategies, and talk about Chow. Beginners, providing guidance for new players to understand the online features and how to use them effectively. Cow Pride Attention, promoting the Cow Pride feature as a way to show off Chow, promising new fun and network interaction related to Chow in the future, suggesting magazine tie-ins and events. Overall, the page promotes the Dreamcast's online network features, centered around Sonic Adventure, showcasing various online services and community aspects to enhance the gaming experience. This page is about Dreamcast Network gaming and upcoming network-compatible software. It highlights Sega Rally 2's online capabilities and explains how to connect to servers, chat before and after races, and participate in online races with up to 4 players. The page also previews several other games with network features. Frame Guide from Software, a mecha action game where players collect and combine parts to create original mechs for online battles. D no Shokutaku 2, D2, a Warp title planned for release in 1999, promising substantial improvements to the main game and details on minigame distribution. Real Sound, Kazi no Regret, Real Sound, Wind Regret, another Warp game scheduled for March 11th for 4,800 yen, mentioning HP connection and access to the game's homepage. Wars, a network play-compatible RPG also from Warp. Space Griffon, a Panzer software title, where details about network battles are still emerging. Additionally, the page introduces Digital Keiba Shinbun, MYTRAKMN, from Shoei System, a data distribution software for horse racing news and predictions, available for 6,800 yen in March. This allows users to download race data and predictions from Shoei System's server. Finally, the page discusses the future potential of Dreamcast network gaming, mentioning that as of January 14th, 10 titles are announced to support network features, including Compile's Xiaozhou R and NEC Interchannel's Project Bly. It concludes that Sega Rally 2 is paving the way for the expansion of Dreamcast online gaming capabilities. This page is a directory of game company websites, titled Game Maker Game Company Internet Site URL Collection. It's designed to help Dreamcast owners easily access game company websites via the Dream Passport's jump function. The directory lists companies alphabetically and includes their website URLs and some notes, such as if the site has a BBS or chat or a members-only page. Some companies listed include Arc System Works, ArtDink, IREM, ASC2, Athena, Atlas, and many more Japanese game developers and publishers of the era. The next page is a directory of internet websites related to games. It is separated into 2 sections. The first section lists game manufacturers along with their website URLs and notes if they have a BBS or forum. Some of the manufacturers listed include Compile, Sega, Square, Tecmo, Hudson, Bandai, and Konami, listed as Warashi. The second section lists game retailers and their websites, noting if they offer mail order services, with stores such as Softmap and Animate being listed. The page emphasizes the importance of these websites for game enthusiasts. This page showcases lists of Japanese websites categorized into comics and animation and others. The first section lists companies and creators related to manga and anime, along with their website URLs and notes specifying their roles, such as anime production, record labels, animators, and manga artists. Some notable entries include Sunrise, Studio Ghibli, and Production IG, alongside creators like Konaka Chiaki and Monkey Punch. The second section lists other websites, with categories like Akihabara Information, Life Information, and Game Information, featuring sites like Akiba PC Hotline and ZDNET GameSpot. Below the website listings, the page includes an article discussing the perception of the Internet, noting the shift from a positive, rose-colored information society to highlighting potential dangers and Internet crime, advising users to be cautious but informed. This page is an advertisement for the Sakura Wars OVA Fanbook Volume 2, titled Sakura Karantau. It's packed with content, including a trifold poster featuring newly drawn cell art, staff interviews, a story digest using cell art, and newly revealed setting materials. The book, which is 96 pages and B5 size, is currently on sale. This page is an Anime Check-It feature, highlighting the upcoming release of Change Getter Robo, The Last Day of the World, OVA Volume 4, set for release on January 25th. It reveals secrets of the character Gao and teases his revival from hell. Volume 4 is priced at 1,500 yen initially, with later volumes priced at 3,000 yen each. The series is planned for a total of 7 volumes, and Volume 4 focuses on events 13 years after the previous episodes, introducing new characters and exploring the past of the mysterious girl, Ki. It is revealed that Dr. Saotome, thought to be dead, also reappears, aiming to clarify his true motives. Episodes 6 and 7 are previewed, revealing Gao, Guy, and Guy in the Invada, leading to a tense standoff. Dr. Saotome then appears, ready to unveil his mysteries. Episode 7 sees the Getter team confronting the True Dragon, with Gao and Kei venturing inside. The page also promotes related merchandise in the topics section, such as setting material collections, music CDs, plastic models, trading cards, and Gashapon EX series. A MOOC section advertises a True Getter Robo visual album, filled with illustrations and comics by Go Nagai, priced at 1,500 yen. Finally, the GameSoft section announces a PlayStation strategy simulation game based on True Getter Robo, developed by Bandai Visual and Technosoft, featuring 3D polygon graphics to recreate intense battle scenes. This page lists anime programs airing on SKY Perfect TV and DIREC TV, and upcoming VHS/Laserdisc releases. For Sky Perfect TV, Treasure Island is scheduled on Animax Channel 724 on January 31st, based on Stevenson's novel about Jim's treasure journey. DIREC TV features the 1980s color version of Astro Boy, a remake of the monochrome original from 36 years prior, highlighting its historical significance and rival Atlas. As VHS and Laserdisc releases, scheduled around January 22nd and 25th, include titles like Cardcaptor Sakura Volume 5, Brain-Powered Volume 7, Mobile Suit Gundam, the 08 THMS Team Mirrors Report, Superdoll Licca-chan Volume 4, and Serial Experiments Lane Lif. 05. These releases contain specific episodes, and some include special artwork boxes or bonus items. Adult-oriented anime, like Virgin Call 2, RV1, RV2, Rental, and Yuno Volume 2 Feet are also mentioned, alongside titles like Generator Gall S1, Trigun Stage 6, and Saint Luminous Girls Academy File 2 Feet. This page is from Takemoto Izumi's Various Things column in Dreamcast Magazine. The column starts by discussing the Dreamcast and asking how it is. The author mentions attending the Shenmue production announcement and wanted to do Shenmue cosplay, but couldn't find the materials. The comic strip section, titled Game Life on a Certain Day, shows everyday gaming scenarios. It mentions playing Zelda games, having cleared Sonic, likely Sonic Adventure, and talks about playing Super Famicom Wars. There's a panel about wanting to play puzzle games, and lists Puyo Puyo, Mappy, and other puzzle games, like Mystery, Nora, and Cosplay. The bottom section touches on office life with a conversation about job titles, and then briefly mentions that in 1998, a total of 4 magazines were discontinued. The page also includes address details for fan letters to Takemoto Sensei at the Dreamcast Magazine editorial department. This page is the 26th edition of the Street Notice Board, dedicated to the sound novel game Machi. It's celebrating the first anniversary of the Sega Saturn version and getting ready for the PlayStation release on January 28th. They're giving away special presents such as a wristwatch, QUO cards, and gold bookmarks to lucky readers. Two readers, Ume and Tetsu, reviewed Machi. Ume praises the game as highly enjoyable, especially for those who enjoy scenario-driven games, and says it's definitely worth playing. Tetsu, reviewing the PlayStation version, notes the lack of autosave is a pain, but still finds it very engaging, mentioning the silhouette mode as a key feature. Fan submissions are featured, with New Year greetings and illustrations from readers in Miyagi and Saitama prefectures. These fans express their love for Makrichi and gratitude to the developers. The PlayStation version is officially titled Machi, Intersection of Fate, and will be released on January 28th for 5,800 yen, with special straps available for the first 25,000 buyers. This page presents Hayama Kuji's Game Industry Special Ring Round 6, a feature column with an interview-style format between Kuji Hayama and Saito Fumihiko. The discussion covers topics such as game development, music, and cultural influences. The page highlights the book Cheerful Tokyo People, scheduled for release on February 10, 1999, featuring columns from various writers, including Kuji Hayama. The article also touches on Hayama's musical background and his views on the gaming industry. Photos of Kuji Hayama and Saito Fumihiko are included. This page is a column titled Black or BLAK or by Fumio Kurokawa, focusing on the game Shenmue. The article discusses Shenmue as a highly anticipated title and delves into the concept of player freedom within games. It mentions that Shenmue is a large-scale project and emphasizes the new elements being incorporated, such as time control, magic weather, and QTE battles. The author reflects on the challenge of providing freedom in games while maintaining player engagement, and how Shenmue attempts to break away from traditional game design concepts to offer a more immersive experience. It praises Yu Suzuki and AM2 for their ambition and dedication in developing Shenmue, and expresses anticipation for its release, noting the recent presentation events were well received. The author believes Shenmue has the potential to significantly impact the gaming landscape. This page is a questionnaire postcard from a magazine, providing instructions on how to fill it out with examples. It includes a hardware list featuring various Dreamcast and Sega Saturn consoles and accessories, such as the Dreamcast keyboard, Sega Saturn 3D controller, and arcade sticks. There are also lists of Dreamcast and Sega Saturn software titles mentioned in the survey for readers to reference when answering questions about their preferences and ownership. The survey itself asks about gender, age, occupation, frequently read magazines including Famitsu and GameEst, and opinions on articles and the magazine cover. It also asks about owned hardware, planned hardware purchases, and Dreamcast and Saturn software ownership, asking readers to select from the provided lists. This page is an advertisement for a new game magazine called GM, promising in-depth and well-analyzed game articles beyond just strategy guides. The magazine is described as covering all about games and being unleashed. The page highlights key contents including a look back at the Dreamcast phenomenon, a feature on Biohazard Daizenshu, Great Dead Spirit Festival likely related to Resident Evil, a long interview with Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto, and a long interview with the developers of Ridge Racer Type 4. The magazine is advertised as highly acclaimed and on sale for 690 yen. This page is an advertisement for the Virtua Fighter 3 TB Perfect Guide strategy book for Dreamcast. It is promoted as the ultimate guide, finally unveiled, and essential for mastering the game. The guide promises to cover all character move lists, practical techniques, character-specific combos, offensive and defensive starting moves with situational examples, and guaranteed counterattack techniques after guarding for each character. The tagline emphasizes that if you're heading into the new battles on Dreamcast, this is the only guide you need. It's currently on sale at a base price of 1,100 yen and is an A5 size book with 224 pages. This page is an overview for the Dreamcast Soft Complete Guide, highlighting strategy guides for 3 games. It teases Sengoku Turb on page 100, mentioning a new discovery that the real enemy wasn't the Sheep Army. For Sonic Adventure on page 108, it promises a major strategy guide focused on reaching the ending and revealing secrets about KO's personality. Finally, for Evolution, the World of Sacred Device, on page 114, it offers thorough support for adventure exploration, particularly centered around strategies for blind ruins. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast action RPG, Sengoku Turb, which was released in Japan. It highlights 5 basic battle strategies to help players navigate the game's world. These strategies include using ranged weapons for safe attacks, employing evasion and counterattacks in close combat when lacking ranged options, and emphasizing item collection as items respawn in cleared areas. The guide also mentions Yusetai Nyan, items that boost ally abilities and can be repeatedly collected. Finally, it advises players to utilize the formation mode for equipping accessories to enhance character stats, recommending this mode for optimal equipment management. The game is presented as accessible, even for players who are not adept at action games. This page showcases a game called Hitsujigun Seiyai, which translates to Sheep Army Holy Conquest, likely referring to the Japanese title for Looney Tunes Sheep Raider, released internationally. The page details the game's story, where the Sheep Army, led by a character named Niche, has taken over Hitsuji Castle, Sheep Castle, the enemy's stronghold. However, a new enemy emerges called Dappa, part of the alien army, revealing that the conflict was orchestrated by him. The screenshots show gameplay within the castle and outdoor environments, featuring the characters Niche, Sam Sheepdog, Dappa, Ralph Wolf, and what looks like a princess character. The text also mentions Niche's declaration and a mysterious voice, suggesting plot developments and surprises in the game's narrative. The characters are depicted in a low-poly 3D style typical of Dreamcast-era games. The page ends with a call to action. "Let's chase after them, Captain!" indicating an objective within the game. This page is focused on Sengoku Turb, a Dreamcast game not released outside of Japan, and delves into the game's quest system and conversation events. It explains that quests are triggered by various conditions and are essentially conversations with characters that unlock further dialogue options as the story progresses. The page highlights 2 specific quests: Second Banashi, which starts immediately when the game begins and concludes after a single conversation, and Hitsuji Gun, which is about defeating the Sheep Army and also starts and ends with a single conversation, requiring Stage 0 to be controlled. It lists several newly appearing characters including Jino-chan, Cat General, Gelsomina, Sonora Face, and others. There's also pinpoint advice suggesting that the beginning of the game is challenging, but controlling Area 1 makes subsequent gameplay much easier, with tips on capturing a character called Yusei Tanyan. The page provides guidance for players navigating the early stages of Sengoku Turb and understanding its quest mechanics. This page provides a walkthrough guide for the Dreamcast game Yukyu Gensukyoku Perpetual Blue. It details quests in Episode 2, titled Yummy Poison Fly, and Episode 3, Kumaneko Converter, which are accessible in areas 13 and 49 respectively. New characters appearing include Yoseitai Nyan, and in later areas, Kuma, Usagi, and a failed creation. The guide outlines 4 quests. Sudortain 1 in Episode 2 begins by speaking to Sudortain, and upon completion of Episode 2 you can get the Nyanmura sword from him, although it's noted it's not actually the strongest sword. The Yoseitai Nyan quest in Episode 2 starts by talking to Marina, and involves capturing Taitai Nyan, with Marina offering advice on catching them and reacting negatively if you try to give her unwanted Nyan. Moving to Episode 3, the Kuma to Usagi quest begins by speaking with the Nekogo General, and involves the 4 great creatures of Lion Planet, mentioning the Kumaneko Converter item obtained in Episode 3. The Sudortain 2 quest, also in Episode 3, starts by speaking to Sudortain. This quest involves showing bread to Sudortain to receive the Nyanyan Nabe item, and it highlights that you won't progress by just talking to Sudortain alone, needing to speak to other characters and obtain items. There's also a pinpoint advice section, recommending players turn off real-time battle mode in the options to have more time to select items during battles. This page details 2 quests, Bonbo and Hitsuji Hakase, from an RPG. The Bonbo quest, Episode 4, Song 4 Music Sound of, starts in Chapter 4 by talking to Bonbo, and ends after completing the music or finishing Chapter 8. It involves helping the musician Bonbo form a band by recruiting Neko soldiers, cat soldiers, and assigning them instruments based on a compatibility chart. This chart lists instruments like Bio Bio Popo, Harpo, and Piano, along with Neko soldier ranks, sexes, and personalities that are compatible. After completing the Bonbo Music Quest, the Bonbo Live and Bonbo Encore Quest becomes available, requiring you to listen to Bonbo's music 5 times to trigger an encore and hear a new song. The appearing characters for the Bonbo Quest are Bonbo and Alice B. The second quest, Hitsuji Hakase, Episode 5 Culture Center, starts in Chapter 5 by speaking to Hitsuji Hakase the Sheep Doctor, and ends by obtaining an item called Name of the Stick, or finishing Chapter 7. The characters appearing in this quest are Hitsuji Hakase and Afuchan. The progress possible areas are stages 10 to 17 for Bonbo, and 18 to 27 for Hitsuji Hakase. There's also a pinpoint advice section focused on defeating the boss Alice B in Chapter 4's Hitsuji Army. It notes Alice B's high attack power and recommends using cracker-type weapons and attacking from higher ground to exploit the terrain, as Alice B cannot overcome differences in elevation. This page details 3 quests within the game 7th Moon. The first quest is titled Afuchan. It involves talking to Afuchan, a mermaid character, and the quest completion condition is making Mars Suri become friends with Afuchan. The second quest is White Secret. This quest begins and ends in Episode 6. It involves talking about the White Fairy Tainyan. The available areas for this quest are areas 28 through 39. A new character introduced is Tokubetsu Tainyan, Special Tainyan. The page includes a pinpoint advice section explaining that the luck, L-U-C-K, parameter in this game affects the probability of both good and bad things happening. It suggests using the item Haihoban to lower luck if it gets too high. The third quest is Nano Nore Hakase, or Dr. Nano Nore. It begins and ends in Episode 7 and involves rumors about Dr. Nano Nore, who lives in a UFO-shaped laboratory. The available areas are 40 through 51, and a new character is Dr. Nano Nore. The pinpoint advice section explains how to use the directional buttons for accurate attacks with projectile weapons, recommending the D-pad for precision aiming, and mentioning that analog sticks can be less accurate. It states that attacks using this method will not miss. The page ends with text suggesting that after clearing Episode 7, there are few remaining areas, and that controlling all areas will progress the story. Jinochan Times is a fan page for the Dreamcast game Senkoku Taisen Turb, featuring user submissions. This week's Eichmann highlights the Neko Soldier character, while Why Are You So Eichmann shares user-submitted Eichmann failures, embarrassing moments rated on an Eichmann failure index. Examples include answering the phone while chewing, 25%, and farting on a balcony, 65%. Eichmann failure lament recounts a toothpaste mishap, 50%. My Dream Talk lists dream keywords. Do It Project suggests creating Usagi goods and character figures. Final Weapon of the Heart, Flanging Gimi, proposes a Hitoneko converter to turn people into cat toys. Let's Cheer contains a fan message praising the game's dark world and encouraging play. The page header notes its 1-week post-release and urges players to master Turb Road with daily play. This page showcases fan art illustrations submitted by readers. The top left section, titled Popular Color Illustrations, features a vibrant character artwork. Next to it is a 3-panel manga section showing reader-submitted comics. The Cat General's popularity is high. Section displays artwork of a Cat General character, likely from a Dreamcast game, mentioning Sentu Turb. The By Side I Want It section also presents fan art. Sanjutsu Road section seems to be another fan art showcase. The As Expected They Came section features more fan illustrations. Finally, at the bottom, Sheep Kingdom Queen might be a game or character title, along with more fan art page. The page also has a submission box encouraging readers to send in their fan creations. This strategy guide for Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast highlights Knuckles the Echidna as a playable character. He features in both the Sonic and Tails story in Mystic Ruin and his dedicated Knuckles story in Station Square. Knuckles' gameplay is centered on treasure hunting, a departure from Sonic and Tails. He is the guardian of the Master Emerald on Angel Island, which is now connected to Mystic Ruin. In Sonic and Tails story, Sonic encounters Knuckles, who mistakenly believes Sonic seeks the Master Emerald shards, leading to a boss battle. The guide offers tips for defeating Knuckles by countering his attacks. Knuckles' story begins with the Master Emerald shattering, prompting his quest to recover the pieces. The guide also briefly mentions Sonic and Tails' pursuit of Eggman for Chaos Emeralds in Adventure Mode, and details how Sonic can acquire the Lightspeed Dash item in Mystic Ruin. Finally, it notes that Big the Cat becomes playable in Station Square after this point. This page is focused on strategy guides for Sonic Adventure stages. It covers VS Chaos, which is the Chaos 4 boss battle taking place in a swampy area. Tips are given on dodging shockwaves and attacking when Chaos exposes its head. The guide mentions that this is the 4th Chaos Emerald encounter and warns about the dangerous swamp terrain where players can lose rings. The next section is SKY Chase, where Sonic and Tails in the Tornado chase Egg Carrier. It describes this as a shooting minigame stage and offers tips for locking onto enemies and shooting down missiles. It mentions that after the Chaos battle, an event leads to this stage, the Tornado Assault. Section elaborates that the tornado gets damaged by the Egg Carrier's beam and players need to shoot down the enemy planes. Finally, the page briefly introduces Speed Highway and CASINOPOLIS as Knuckles stages. Speed Highway is described as an action stage similar to Sonic's, but the first one, Knuckles encounters. Players need to collect Master Emerald shards while avoiding cars using wall climbing and gliding. Casinopolis stage requires Knuckles to find Master Emerald shards in the casino area, using gliding and wall climbing to reach high places by activating a switch on a signboard. There is a question asking if Sonic and Tails will be separated, implying a story development. This strategy guide details Knuckles the Echidna's gameplay in Sonic Adventure's Speed Highway stage. Knuckles seeks Master Emerald shards after its shattering and Angel Island's fall, starting in Station Square. The stage features buildings and roads, encouraging wall climbing and gliding to navigate. Enemies include Supina, Supana, Unitas, and the troublesome Cop Speeder, which actively chases players. Airborne movement is recommended to avoid ground threats and protect animals. Key strategies include using water fountains for aerial boosts, avoiding dangerous car-filled roads, and thoroughly searching building gaps, windows, and verandas for hidden emerald shards with the radar. Screenshots within the guide illustrate gameplay elements such as enemy encounters, fountain use, gliding, and shard collection. This strategy guide for Sonic Adventure's Casino Polis stage focuses on Knuckles' gameplay. It advises using Knuckles' wall climbing ability to explore higher areas inaccessible to Sonic and thoroughly search for Master Emerald shards. The guide highlights enemies like Spanner, Spina, and Pirate Robot. Emeralds can be found by punching background objects, defeating radar-equipped enemies, digging in marked spots with shovel claws, and accessing hidden areas opened by switches on walls, floors, and ceilings. Tips include using wall climbing for 1 UPs, checking the Sonic statue's base, jumping into the lion statue's mouth via a spring, carefully, and searching behind walls for hidden switches and emeralds. Screenshots in the guide illustrate these points within Casino Polis, showcasing enemy locations and potential emerald spots. This page is focused on Cow from the game's Sonic Adventure. It's titled, Cheerful Chow, 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 and discusses how to raise Chow from eggs, noting that shaking the egg well results in a cheerful Chow. It mentions that the personality of a Chow can change depending on how you raise it from an egg. The page also introduces new types of cow, referring to colorful cow that are born from special eggs found in adventure fields. It describes golden, silver, and black Chow as examples of these new types. There's a section dedicated to player feedback and letters related to Chow, inviting readers to send in questions, fan stories, illustrations, and handmade Chow goods. The article highlights that increasing Chow's affection for the player through actions like petting and giving them fruit will unlock special actions from the Chow, such as drawing a portrait of the player character. Chow personalities in Sonic Adventure are shaped from birth, influencing their expressions and actions. Developed by the Chow Papa team, personalities are defined by visual cues like smiling eyes, and are further molded by player interaction from egg to adulthood. Intelligence grows with attention, and actions reflect player treatment, with affection leading to cuter behaviors. Personality impacts race performance. While genetic inheritance is present, dramatic mutations are unlikely, and Chow are designed to be liked, disliking neglect or bullying. Kindness is paramount for healthy Chow development. Mirroring how children respond to treatment, experimentation and player affection are encouraged, with developers advising against neglect and promoting a caring approach. While appearances may hint at abilities, it's not always accurate. encouraging players to explore and nurture Chao based on observation. The article concludes that Chao A Life offers varied playstyles, even beyond kindness, but emphasizes the intended positive player interaction. This page is a strategy guide introduction for Evolution, Eternal Dungeon, a Dreamcast RPG. The page focuses on the first dungeon, Ruins of Waterblind, showcasing maps and gameplay screenshots from different areas like Northrop, Panem Town, Shia's Ruins, and Heaven Ruins. It also introduces Public Relations Officer Nop from the archaeological research organization Societe, who welcomes players and offers support, suggesting a helpful in-game system. The guide aims to assist players in conquering the initial dungeon, highlighting the mysterious and deep underwater dungeon environment. Grandia 2 gameplay involves several key mechanics. Travel is primarily by airplane from Vanamutowns Airport, where items can be found. Vanaport offers an optional sightseeing tour and a gondola to an ocean ruin. For ruin exploration, a minimum party of 2, Mag and Renea, is required, with 3 recommended. Preparation is crucial before exploring ruins, as emphasized in the information section and by ASRock Launcher's advice. Essential items include Naori for HP recovery and red pepper for status ailments, obtainable from shops and chests. Ruin access requires society registration, and location choices are permanent. Initial equipment suffices, but specialized gear is needed later for elemental attacks. Item management is important, with a 32-item limit. Excess items can be stored in the item box at Launcher's house, or sold at Societe shops. This guide for early Grandia 2 gameplay focuses on Panham Town, covering party member selection and item shop inventory. Initially, Mag and Ryudo are in the party, and players choose between Chain, located in the converted bus, and Gray as the third member, based on preference. Chain is attack-oriented, utilizing Psyframe skills for strong, multi-enemy attacks, suited for aggressive players. Gray is versatile, using grenade skills for attack, recovery, and status changes, ideal for careful players. The item shop inventory updates as the game progresses, initially offering items such as Noorin, HP recovery, Doctoral, status cure, hit meal, HP boost, and basic equipment for purchase. Choose Chain for combat power or Gray for versatile gameplay. This page is an introductory guide for beginners to dungeon exploration in the Dreamcast game Evolution, the World of Sacred Device. It highlights essential knowledge for navigating dungeons. The guide emphasizes the importance of understanding the game's mechanics, such as utilizing FP, Furious Points, for special skills, and acquiring TP, Technique Points, to learn new abilities which can be used once per battle without consuming FP. It also explains the battle flow, where turn order is determined by character speed and displayed on screen, and how actions affect turn delays. The guide further advises players to search for treasure chests and stairs to progress through the randomly generated dungeons. It also warns about traps, some damaging and some beneficial, and introduces transporters as dungeon exits and re-entry points. A key piece of advice is to equip characters with items like the Confusion Amulet to counter status ailments inflicted by enemies. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Ruins of Blondie, focusing on the Blind Ruins dungeon. The page details how to efficiently explore and strengthen your equipment by finding parts. It explains that items found in treasure chests can be generally useful items, equipment to strengthen characters, map-related items, and rare items that can be exchanged for Psyframe parts. The guide highlights excavated equipment and parts, explaining how to enhance weapons and armor, providing a list of item names and their effects. It emphasizes specialized parts for Psyframe, which are essential to acquire. The page also offers monster data for enemies encountered in the Blind Ruins, specifically showcasing Paleocarides and Hydra with their stats, attack patterns, and weaknesses, advising players to use this information to strategize their battles. Screenshots of gameplay and character portraits are included to illustrate the game. This guide offers exploration tips for Ruins of Blind 2, emphasizing valuable items in deeper areas with boss encounters. Level 2 is ideal for acquiring modification kits to enhance equipment and add slots. Aim for at least 2. Parts include Ice Hand for ice attacks, Recovery Hand for HP recovery, and various boosters. Eyeball accessories are special finds, such as defense rings, elemental resistance, and doll figures, damage reflection. Boots like casual sandals and ceramic boots boost defense and evasion. Enemy details cover Spectre, fast sleep attacks, Bobo Tribe, poison, confusion, skill ceiling, Hayari dance, Teugi Kikafu, normal attacks, vibration wave, and Big Ben, powerful Kamitsuki bite, high HP. A Dreamcast Magazine strategy guide for Grandia 2 offers gameplay tips in a Q&A format. It advises players to exploit elemental weaknesses in combat using fire, water, and lightning attacks. Escaping battles isn't guaranteed and requires party alignment before attempting. Technical points, TP, earned by defeating enemies, even if fleeing, are crucial for learning skills, and special moves unlock with TP but must be manually learned, potentially restricted by equipment. Traps can be found using trap search items, and are best avoided by walking centrally. Characters level up even when not in the active party, allowing flexible character swapping. Formations matter. Mag up front, linea back, and a third in the middle, with horizontal formations improving line-of-sight recovery skill efficiency. Finally, monster body parts are exchange items processed at Société to obtain other items. This page highlights recommended special moves to learn early in the game. Evolution, the world of sacred device, showcasing 4 weapon types or character abilities: mag launcher, linear cannon, chain gun, and grenade. For each, 2 special moves are detailed, such as Magna Combo and Shock Punch for mag launcher, and First Aid and Everyone Refreshed for linear cannon. The page also advertises a special Dreamcast Magazine campaign where players who tried the demo version of Evolution at partner shops could win prizes. By sending a postcard with a password obtained from the demo and an application ticket from the magazine, readers could enter a draw to win linear cannon figures, mag launcher mugs, or linear cannon telephone cards. This page is an unofficial Sega page focusing on Rent a Hero Returns, discussing its potential release on Dreamcast after its Mega Drive origins. There's an interview with Tadashi Takazaki from Sega CS Publicity about the game Rent a Hero, which he describes as a unique RPG even for those not usually into the genre, noting its parodic world and modern setting. He mentions the game was originally released for Mega Drive in September 1991 and talks about its possible revival on Dreamcast if there is enough fan demand, suggesting a target of 100,000 votes in a fan poll. The page also features a Transplant Hope ranking chart, where Rent a Hero is climbing in popularity, aiming for the top spot, currently occupied by the Final Fantasy series. Sakura Wars and Dragon Quest series are also mentioned in the ranking. Screenshots from Rent a Hero gameplay are shown, depicting in-game scenes. Sakura Wars is highlighted as a rival series in the ranking chart, and there is an image of a character from Sakura Wars. This page is focused on reader submissions and details for the game Rent a Hero. It showcases reader-designed characters for a Rental Hero Hiroko-chan section, with descriptions and comments on the designs. There are character designs from Tokyo, Hokkaido, Fukuoka, and Gifu prefectures. One section is dedicated to Rental Hero secrets, and another details the family composition of the protagonist, Yamadataru, introducing his mother, sister Arisa, father, and the protagonist himself, providing brief descriptions of each. The page also includes a call for lovers of Rent a Hero to gather, likely seeking further reader participation. A members list section lists names, possibly of contributing readers or staff. Screenshots from the game are also shown. This page delves into Pen Pen Tri-Isolon, a Dreamcast action racing game. It's presented as a fan page highlighting time attack strategies and multiplayer tips. There's an interview snippet with Nakamurashi, a top player, who emphasizes drift techniques and consistent gameplay for achieving fast times. The page offers gameplay advice for specific zones, like using jump attacks to navigate the Area 2 exit efficiently, and mastering water surface swimming for significant speed boosts, which is deemed crucial for competitions. A Master of Pen Pen ranking table reveals the top 5 fastest times, all achieved using the character back. Interestingly, it notes that 90% of applicants in a recent competition used back, hoping for other characters to become more competitive. Multiplayer annoyance techniques are discussed, including using charge attacks to disrupt opponents and strategically blocking paths. Lastly, a small section explains the Oyasumi character display, which showcases the player's most frequently used character. This page is the contents page from Weekly Sega Saturn magazine, dated February 5, 1999. It lists the sections in this issue, including the Sega Saturn magazine data station, Sega Saturn reader race, and cheat shopping. A highlighted section called Coming Soon Soft points to articles on upcoming games. These include what seems to be related to the Kiss series of games, possibly Kiss in Ingam Paradise, the Dungeons & Dragons collection, which is known internationally, and a section called Tito Journal. The page also features an image of an anime-style girl. This page showcases Sega Saturn's top-selling software and eagerly awaited upcoming titles, presenting data up to date. The best-selling game is Sakura Wars, topping the charts. Following in the sales ranking are Girl Doll Toy, Kijinkaku no Yuki, Langrisser Trilogy, and NOEL 3, among others. The list of highly anticipated new software is led by Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, known internationally as Sonic 3D Blast. Other notable upcoming games include Waku Waku 7 with Yumitsumete Itai and Dungeons & Dragons Collection, all garnering significant attention. The release schedule section details titles planned for February and beyond, listing games like Rockman, 8 Metal Heroes, J-League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru 2, and DEVICEREIGN, alongside many unreleased games with their makers, genres, and pricing information. This page showcases the Reader's Race Weekly Sega Saturn Top Software Rankings, dated January 22nd. It's based on reader votes and evaluations, ranking all Saturn software currently available, totaling 1131 titles. The table lists games by rank, previous rank, game title, genre, and average score. The aim is to provide gamers with real-time rankings to help them with purchasing decisions. It's titled Ops Table Saturn A. This page reviews 4 Sega Saturn games. Sakura Taisen, Imperial Capital Dramatic Graph, etc., received mixed reviews, praised for artwork, scenarios, and voice acting, but criticized for audio issues, tedious minigames, and graphical downgrade. Junk Classic CC and Pope Paradise, SPT, was seen as a familiar golf game, similar to previous titles, with minor updates and enjoyable for fans of the series. Souten no Tsurugi Gotha World, SLG, was lauded for its personal time system and simulation core, but hampered by poor controls and underwhelming graphics and character design, with a desire for less emphasis on anime cutscenes. Girl Doll Toy, ADV, was considered disappointing, despite an interesting story concept, due to outdated systems, tedious gameplay, lackluster minigames, repetitive structure, and an unappealing protagonist, leading to overall dissatisfaction despite appreciated character designs. This review praises the Sega Saturn game Desire for its strong scenario, high-quality animation, and deep storyline that appeals to both male and female players. The game's command selection system and rich dialogue reactions are highlighted as immersive features. The narrative centers on Makoto's romantic relationships and the mystery of Tina. It's recommended even for those new to adventure games, especially the Saturn version. Reader and developer comments reinforce the positive aspects, citing top-level animation and a compelling scenario, with developer Takahashi excitedly recommending the game and its ending. Alongside the review, a Sega Saturn weekly ranking chart lists numerous games across genres such as RPG, ADV, and ACT, illustrating the diverse gaming landscape on the platform. This page is a ranking chart for Sega Saturn games, presenting a long list of titles organized by rank, previous rank, game title, genre, and average score. It appears to be a comprehensive overview of Saturn games, as evaluated by the publication. The page is predominantly a tabular list and does not feature any screenshots or character images beyond the game titles themselves. It's a structured presentation of game data for readers to gauge popularity and ratings. This page is packed with Sega Saturn game reviews and reader engagement, starting with Langrisser Tribute, a strategy RPG praised for its comprehensive package that includes the entire series and comes with premium items, achieving a reader score of 7.0. Next is 6-Inch My Darling, an adventure game with a score of 6.33, highlighted for its charming scenario and light-hearted romantic theme. Guardian Force, a shooting game, also scores a 7.0 and is commended for its exciting shooting action and balanced gameplay. Lastly, Ultraman Encyclopedia 3, an informational title, is noted for its extensive content covering various Ultraman series, although it has no reader score listed. The page also features a section called Voice of the High-Class Owner, with reader comments, showcasing opinions about Sega Saturn games, and this magazine section. There's an odds table, ranking Sega Saturn peripherals by reader scores, offering insights into popular accessories. Another section promotes the Reader Race, a prediction game where readers guess game rankings to win prizes like Dreamcast games and hardware. There's also an advert for the DC joystick and visual memory, offered as prizes in a reader draw. The page also announces a double chance odds game and mentions upcoming predictions for Sega 2 and Combat Chojin Turb. This page is a preview for the romance simulation adventure game Kiss Yori. Daisuki Quiz. It highlights the game's theme of summer encounters and sweet, painful relationships. Developed by KID and scheduled for release on March 18th, the game is priced at 7,800 yen for the first edition and 6,800 yen for the regular edition. It is described as suitable for all ages. The preview details the storyline, where the protagonist works part-time at a theme park during summer vacation and meets 6 different girls. The aim of the game is to find happiness with one of these girls through various encounters and events. Screenshots showcase in-game scenes and introduce characters such as Asaoka Chihiro, Hirose Nanami, and Sugita Chieri. The text emphasizes the game's focus on a relatable, everyday love story, with gentle female dialogue and overflowing affection. The setting of the part-time job at the theme park is presented as a fertile ground for meeting potential romantic interests. This page is a preview of a Sega Saturn game where you manage the daily life of the protagonist. The game revolves around daily activities, managing stamina, and interacting with characters. It mentions activities such as going out, shopping for items like CDs and games to relax and improve knowledge, and taking part-time jobs for money. The protagonist lives with 2 younger sisters during summer vacation. The game seems to incorporate dating sim elements, as it mentions building relationships with girls and phone calls. The page also shows in-game screenshots of menus and gameplay scenes, including interactions in the room and going out to different locations in town. One section shows a scene at the beach, hinting at romantic elements. Another screenshot shows gameplay within a game center playing a survival game. This dating simulation game aims to immerse players through 3 key systems, focused on feeling connected to the in-game girl. The real-time conversation system requires players to gather information from various sources, both in-game and real-world, to engage in successful conversations on diverse topics, progressing the relationship, and leading to obtaining her phone number. The protagonist is truly your alter ego. Feature emphasizes deep character customization, allowing players to personalize their protagonist's details and preferences, fostering a stronger sense of embodiment within the game. Lastly, the Dream Deja Vu system presents daily dream sequences based on memories with the girl, acting as hints about her feelings and future events. These dreams offer insights into her emotions, guiding players to improve communication and strengthen their connection. These systems combined are designed to create a deeply immersive and emotionally engaging dating simulation experience. This page introduces the real-time action system of the dating sim game Doki Doki Kiss. It describes a real-time event system where you interact with girls at the beach. The page details the selection icons, which include look, talk, touch, and blow breath actions, each triggering different reactions based on the girl's personality and preferences. The Doki Doki gauge represents the girl's feelings towards the player, increasing with successful interactions. The page also hints at an encounter event during a part-time job at a marine park, which is described as a chance to get closer to the girls. Screenshots demonstrate the game's interface and character interactions, focusing on the various actions and reactions within the dating sim. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn title Dungeons & Dragons Collection, which includes Tower of Doom and Shadows over Mystara. It highlights the features of these action RPG games that use 4 buttons for various actions, staying true to the tabletop RPG rules. The advertisement emphasizes character classes, focusing on the fighter and cleric. The fighter is described as a melee combat expert utilizing powerful attacks, while the cleric is portrayed as a vital support character skilled in both combat and healing magic. Screenshots illustrate gameplay from both Tower of Doom and Shadows over Mystara, showcasing the action and character abilities. The bottom left corner indicates the game is 100% complete and lists features such as action, full year's age target, 12 people play Shadows over Mystara, only 4 Mega RAM required. The ad concludes with a manufacturer comment encouraging players to try the item collection in 2. This page showcases character classes from the Sega Saturn game Dungeons & Dragons Collection, which includes Dungeons & Dragons Shadow over Mystara and Dungeons & Dragons Tower of Doom. It highlights 4 character types: Dwarf, Elf, Thief, and Magic User. A dwarf is described as small but strong, emphasizing their powerful attack and treasure-finding abilities, especially in the second stage, where they can find money by redigging treasure chests. They are slow in movement, but powerful. The elf is presented as a specialist in magic and sword skills, excelling in both ranged magic and melee combat. While their attack power is low, their fast movements allow for continuous attacks. They use magic to support the party and create openings. The thief class focuses on speed and trap disarming. They are nimble and skilled in evasion, compensating for their weak defense. Their trap detection and removal skills are especially useful later in the game. The magic user is portrayed as possessing powerful magic to defeat enemies. They are said to lack melee abilities and have limited equipment but compensate with strong magic attacks, capable of wiping out enemies on screen. Their magic power is described as comparable to that of the elf. This page is the 9th issue of the Emperor Capital Journal in Dreamcast Magazine. It highlights surprising news for 4 consecutive issues and aims to become a regular feature. The issue reports on the Christmas public performance and the unexpectedly popular ranking. One section is titled Flower Troop Christmas Miracle Bell Report, covering an event held at Roppongi Velfar on December 23 last year. It mentions that 100 out of 1,000 limited tickets were given away as Dreamcast Magazine presents, meaning 1 in 10 attendees were Dreamcast Magazine readers. It also includes reader comments and fan submissions related to the event. Another section called Happy Day Happy Xmas features fan letters and illustrations. The Emperor Capital Journal section contains comic strip-style panels featuring characters. One panel set is titled Sleeping Forest Monster Transformation and features characters with speech bubbles. Another panel set, titled Before the Public Performance, seems to depict scenes before a show, with characters in costume and dialogue. Finally, After the Public Performance panel shows characters interacting after a performance. The page also has a Here To readable section, encouraging readers to check out the content. It mentions seasonal topics, highlighting that ideally seasonal material is wanted 1 month in advance, and that Valentine's Day material for the next issue is due this week, asking for spring-themed material for the following issue. This page presents a popularity ranking called Sudden Ranking Part 2 from the magazine's editorial department. It compiles illustrations sent in by readers, focusing on single character drawings or those with Ogami and 2 others. The ranking is for popular characters, and the aim is to collect and rank favorite characters monthly. The ranking is divided into 2 sections, Hardline and Jean-Paul Select Go. In the Hardline section, Rank 1 is Miyamoto Musashi from Osaka Prefecture. Rank 2 is So Warrior from Osaka Prefecture, likely representing Ogami Ichiro. In the Jean-Paul Select Go section, Rank 1 is Hanasaki from Fukuoka Prefecture. Rank 2 is Raika from Fukuoka Prefecture. Rank 3 is Shinshima Kagami from Hyogo Prefecture. Rank 4 is Gotanibe Marika from Osaka Prefecture. Rank 5 is Komura Ichiro from Tokyo Prefecture. Rank 6 is Sakurai Hibiki from Osaka Prefecture. Rank 7 is Torano Rei from Osaka Prefecture. Rank 8 is Isanagi Kazuya from Osaka Prefecture. Rank 9 is Takamine Akira from Aichi Prefecture. Rank 10 is Usagi from Chiba Prefecture. Rank 11 is Hachichi Hinata from Ibaraki Prefecture. All listed characters are from the Sakura Wars series, and the ranking is based on reader submissions of fan art. The text notes that the top-ranked character is significantly ahead of the others, and that Sakura Wars is a popular topic within the magazine. This page is all about Dreamcast secret techniques, particularly for the game Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Genteiban. There's a section detailing how to unlock hidden NADE and sound test options in the game by inputting a button command on the title screen, B, C, Y, Z, and up, while pressing start. Another section reveals how to add 5 characters from Game Tengoku into Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Genteiban for the Mahjong free battle mode. Apparently, by winning against these characters, players unlock Tsuchipai Special and even more characters. There's also a tip about the homepage publication version of Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Genteiban, where clicking certain points on the in-game homepage reveals cute SD characters who interact with the cursor, either sleeping or following it. For Game Tengoku mode in Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Genteiban, it's highlighted that the background now scrolls, which wasn't the case before. Players can enable this scrolling by pressing the L or R buttons during loading after selecting Game Tengoku characters. Finally, the page is running a secret technique shopping campaign, inviting readers to submit their own secret techniques for both Sega Saturn and Dreamcast games. Prizes are offered for the best submissions, and they are asking for postcards with details like name, age, address, phone number, game titles, and the secret techniques themselves. This page is an advertisement for the Sakura Wars Taigeki Graph official guidebook. It highlights that the guide covers content from discs 1 and 2 of the game, focusing on key aspects such as story progression, character introductions, event conditions, minigame strategies, and extra content. The book is described as an A5 size, 80-page full-color guide, priced at 1,000 yen plus tax, and scheduled for release in late January. The page features prominent artwork of a female character from Sakura Wars. This page of Arcade Express Volume 39 introduces the new arcade metal game, Fantasy Zone from Sega, a revival of the classic 1986 shooting game, Fantasy Zone. It's highlighted as a metal game where up to 8 people can play simultaneously. The page explains how to play, instructing players to shoot metals at a moving frontline base to destroy it, and cooperate across 4 machines to defeat bosses. It mentions that the game retains the original graphics and sound from the classic game, and also features familiar elements like the item shop and collecting coins with Opa Opa. The page points out the trigger to shoot metals and a lever to collect coins in the game. It emphasizes that this is a revival of the famous shooting game as a metal game, faithfully recreating the original game's feel, and also mentions that there's a monitor for each player. This page is an interview with the AM6 research and development staff about their new metal game, featuring characters from Fantasy Zone. The staff members interviewed are Todaiji Mitsuru, planning, Sanuma Jun, design, Shimada Yuji, design, and Murata Susumu, design. They discussed the game's concept as an easy-to-understand metal game for beginners, aiming to appeal to families and casual players. The team decided to use Opa Opa from Fantasy Zone, finding the character cute and recognizable. The interview highlights the development process, including challenges like designing a metal shooter to accurately launch metals within budget and time constraints, and recreating the sound of old metal games. They aim to capture the fun of metal game centers and create a game where players collect oil to trigger jackpots. The page features screenshots of the metal game in action, showing gameplay with Opa Opa and metal game elements. There is also a section explaining the collect oil and aim for the jackpot mechanic, where players gather oil during stages and boss battles to trigger a jackpot. A message from the original Fantasy Zone staff notes this metal game is being released 13 years after the original arcade Fantasy Zone, emphasizing the visual differences and improvements. This page is from the Hello Capcom section, Volume 74 of the magazine, featuring an interview with Mr. Funamizu, who is the Director and Deputy Director of Development Headquarters. The interview is the second part of a series covering 19,981,999 and focuses on Power Stone, which is coming to NAOMI and Dreamcast. Funamizu discusses the development of Power Stone, noting that while the graphics look clean in development tools, they can appear rougher on consumer TVs. He mentions concerns from staff about the game not feeling like a typical fighting game, as it allows for more freedom and movement compared to traditional fighters. He addresses player feedback, particularly regarding guard mechanics, and explains the design choices behind the guard system in Power Stone. He indicates that the team is considering releasing Power Stone 2, as they have identified areas for improvement in the current game. The interview also touches upon the JoJo system and a secret file present in the magazine. Below the interview, there is a column titled Shaiki Akimoto's Monster Night Tales, Night 3, Love and Fear, Vampire 3. This appears to be a horror-themed story or column by Shaiki Akimoto, focusing on vampires and exploring themes of love and fear. The next page is a Capcom Dash feature focusing on essential fighting game mechanics for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It highlights 4 key techniques crucial for competitive play: Ukemi, recovery, advancing guard, guard cancel, and round movement. The page details how to use Ukemi to recover from attacks both in the air and on the ground, emphasizing its importance in avoiding follow-up attacks. It explains advancing guard as a technique to push back opponents while guarding, creating space and opportunities for counterattacks. Guard cancel is presented as a way to transition from defense to offense by immediately counterattacking after blocking. Lastly, round movement is described as a technique in standoff mode to move behind the opponent, useful for evasion and approaching from unexpected angles. The page also announces a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure secret file giveaway for 3 lucky readers. The screenshots feature gameplay from a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting game, showing characters in combat. This page is from the Sega AM3 official corner, and is a producer interview for Magical Truck Adventure. The interview is with Mie Kumagai, the producer from Sega AM3. The game is described as a 2-person 3-legged race type of game, a departure from the Rail Chase series, also made by AM3, and other titles like Lost World and Decathlete. Kumagai explains that the team wanted to create a game focused on cooperation and fun, moving away from titles centered on defeating enemies. The initial concept meetings were quite rough, but they decided to create something different, inspired by the nostalgic scenery of the film A Melody of Love, aiming for a softer, more approachable world. The development progressed smoothly, although they faced challenges with the controls and physical feedback, experimenting with different systems for lever weight and sensitivity. They even considered a cabinet where two players could face each other, but it was not feasible due to size limitations. The foot pedals were included from the start, to ensure the gameplay was engaging and not too tiring just using the lever. The producer mentions they wanted the game to evoke a sense of teamwork and fun for players of all ages, especially aiming for a younger audience, around 11 to 12 years old. This page is a special report from Sega AM Research Teams 1, 3, and 12 highlighting a press competition using shooting games, where Dreamcast Magazine achieved third place overall. The competition utilized 3 games: The House of the Dead 2, LA Machine Guns, and Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. The main feature on the page focuses on the game Magical Truck Adventure. The game is described as having charming anime-style characters, with Roy and Alma as key figures involved in a story about seeking the Stone of Mystery. The game features several stages, including a town setting, a dinosaur world, the ocean, and a safari. Screenshots showcase in-game action in these diverse environments. The cabin check section describes the unique controls of the game. The cabinet features a truck-like setup, with a lever to steer, and action pedals at the feet to navigate obstacles. The controls are said to be simple and easy to learn, encouraging two-player cooperative play. The article includes an interview segment with Kumagai, likely a developer, who discusses the game's difficulty balancing and cooperative gameplay focus. He mentions designing the game with a sense of adventure drama, requiring players to overcome obstacles and cooperate. He also touches on the game's stage design, starting with an introductory level to teach players the controls and progressing to more challenging stages. Kumagai emphasizes the importance of teamwork and communication for enjoying the game, especially in two-player mode. This Sega AM R&D department #1 official corner page details the branching paths in Chapter 2 of The House of the Dead 2 Feet, which is highlighted as the chapter with the most branching routes in the game. It focuses on 2 main boss routes, Boss A and Boss B, explaining that Boss A's route is more restricted, while Boss B's offers more freedom but potentially higher difficulty. Specifically, routes to Boss B are detailed. Branch 4 to Boss B occurs by failing to rescue a woman. Branch 2 to Boss B is accessed by taking the left path after falling zombies without the key, leading to the clock tower and merging with the Branch 4 route, involving rescuing several people. And Branch 3 to Boss B occurs if failing to save a boy, leading to a less rewarding but direct path to the boss after entering a house. The page uses screenshots to illustrate these branching paths, effectively serving as a guide for navigating Chapter 2 and reaching different bosses. The House of the Dead 2 Inches offers branching paths, starting with Branch 3 or 4, both leading to the Hierophant, Boss A. Branch 3 involves rescuing a child and their parents in a house, encountering zombies, and a shelf decision. Branch 4 has you save a woman in a shed from zombies, also with a shelf decision, before Branch 6 and Boss A. The Hierophant has 2 versions. Boss A appears on the bridge. Its weak point is the red heart. Attacks include close range, piranhas when on the lower level, and a scythe attack after jumping from the bridge's right side. Dodge attacks and aim for the heart. Boss B appears in the water spray under the bridge. Same arena. Effective strategy for both versions involves learning attack patterns and managing reloads. This page is an advertisement for GameSpot Japan, promoting itself as the fastest source of game information online. It highlights features such as early game news, interviews with game creators and voice actors, and links to game-related homepages. The ad also mentions community aspects, with forums and chats, targeting users interested in the changing landscape of gaming, including Windows gaming, and anticipating the future of the industry, with games like Final Fantasy V 2i. It mentions 300,000 registered members, and encourages users to join for 300 yen. The advertisement emphasizes access to free internet game information on GameSpot Japan's website. This page presents a weekly horoscope titled Dreamcastrology. For the period of January 22nd to 28th, it features star sign horoscopes from Aries to Pisces, giving advice on luck in areas such as love, money, health, and work. Each horoscope includes an advice section with lucky items and general guidance for both boys and girls under each sign. There's also a section called This Week's Lucky Person, mentioning a game called Sengoku Turb that is newly released on January 14th, urging readers not to be too reliant on popularity and to spread the word about the game through word of mouth, suggesting that steady activity will lead to future success. This page showcases a reader prize giveaway from Dreamcast Magazine. There are 5 prize categories. 1. Dreamcast compatible software for 20 winners. 2. An SNK 1999 wall calendar for 3 winners, featuring popular SNK characters. 3. A Capcom Generations signed software and New Year's postcard set for 3 winners. 4. An Idle Sparrow Peepeye Special Limited Edition 5th Anniversary Poster for 5 winners. 5. Idle Sparrow Peepeye. Oh, mo, te, say, te. Promotional poster for 5 winners. The page also previews content for Dreamcast Magazine Volume 5, including features on Shenmue, Magical X, Natural Doctrine, Battleturb, Shinki Sekai, Evolution, The World of Sacred Device, Perfect Follower, Friends, Seishun no Kagayaki, Friends, Shining of Youth, Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 3, Tabidachi no Uta, Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 3, Departure Song, Sega Rally 2, Sonic Adventure, 7 Cross, For Real Dramist. The forecast mentions character-specific strategy manuals and complete guides for some games, as well as new information on Sega Saturn years. The issue is scheduled for release on February 12th and will feature new title announcements and more information about games for the upcoming game show. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game Kiss Yori, which translates to From Kiss. It promotes a pre-order campaign offering a special bonus gift of an original bath clock for the first 1,000 customers. The game is advertised as a summer love story and was scheduled for release in March 1999. The advertisement includes a pre-order application form to be filled out and sent in to participate in the campaign. It also mentions that the price of the game was yet to be determined at the time of the advertisement. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Sonic Adventure, a high-speed, 3D action title. It proclaims the adventure is accelerating and highlights the game's setting across sky, sea, and land, promising a speed-filled experience. The text emphasizes the player's role in protecting the world from destruction, with 6 playable characters confronting mysteries and formidable enemies. It boasts the amazing visuals unique to the Dreamcast, heralding Sonic's return and positioning the game as the new standard for the future of gaming. Sonic Adventure is advertised as being on sale for 5,800 yen, excluding tax.